Lead on all things sports.
Yes.
With plenty of nonsense in between.
Oh, look, here comes our fearless producer.
Gwynn and Chris starts right now on 97.3 The Fan.
And Duhar launches it deep to left field. Leonard's back to watch, and that one gonna go. A home run for Miguel Andujar.
Hopefully the first of many for Miguel Andujar, and we welcome you in on that note to Gwynn and Chris. Getting rolling here on a Monday afternoon. Chrisello, Matt Skraby together in our Odyssey Palace studios. I just glanced up at the TV screen there, Skraby, and I just saw Tony Gwynn Jr. on the TV screen. So
he was on
I'm
the TV
assuming
screen.
he's not going to be here for a little while. He's got a game to finish up. The Brewers are still leading the Padres despite that Andujar home run. It is 4-1 Milwaukee. The Padres are batting in the bottom of the sixth inning at Peoria. So we'll probably be without Tony for an hour or more, but he'll be with us here in a little later on. But plenty to get done. Matt Snyder's going to be on the show in the first hour. We'll talk some baseball with him for sure. And, we got Olympic stuff to wrap up.
I guess. I mean,
it was.
Where were you when Team USA won gold yesterday?
I still was in my living room in Beverly Hills. That was the day that U.S. beat Finland to win the gold medal. Oh, you mean this gold medal?
Yes.
I was in my living room again, but I was down
in
here.
Beverly Hills.
Yeah, it was. Look, the Olympics. I was like trying not to get into them this time.
What? Why?
Because I was just going to be like, you know what? I'm not doing the Olympic thing this year. And everything's delayed, and I'll know the results. And and if I don't know them, I'll give them to everybody. And so it drew me in, by the end. And there I was, with misty eyes watching the women's team beat Canada in that last game in overtime, and the celebration, and just watching it all unfold, and reminding myself that, sports is still that one thing that can bring us together, even in a world that it seems like that's the hardest thing to do these days. Mm-hmm. And then I watch, the young lady on the figure skating, and, she turns in an incredible performance, and she wins the gold medal. It wasn't even the winning again. It was just the competition, the class afterwards, and, propping up the gal that she beat before she celebrated her own gold medal, right? She they announced.
Are you talking about?
I'm talking about the
Lou?
figure skating. Yeah, figure skating. Yeah, Lou wins, but she only won because the other girl didn't win, and she went over and propped her up, and then she celebrated. That was great. And then yesterday, the men's team win, and I'm trying to say to myself, well, this isn't the same as the Miracle on Ice. And maybe it isn't. I don't think
it is.
I don't think anything can ever be the Miracle on Ice. I mean, they asked Al Michaels so many times. They said, is there anything that can ever compare to that? And he goes, no, there just isn't.
It was just a different time.
It just was a different thing. It was 40 years ago, but it wasn't that. It was, I mean, if you've ever seen, there's a documentary on the Miracle on Ice right now on Netflix, which is really good. It interviews all the guys now looking back on it, but to look at the faces on the kids, they were babies when they played in that Miracle on Ice tournament, and to be facing the Soviet Union, which just was no way they could be beat.
Yes.
And obviously
they
win
were
that.
Ivan Drago.
They were the hockey equivalent of Ivan Drago. And so anyway, that was a Miracle on Ice unto itself. But I'm kind of glad they won this gold medal, because it shed a little bit more light back on the Miracle on Ice. And there's a lot of people that weren't around, obviously. There's a whole couple of generations that have come since then.
Me.
And now, right. And now maybe they'll go back and they'll learn about the Miracle on Ice. And it's something to definitely learn about. But what got me yesterday, Skraby, and if you were not bawling when they brought out the jersey of Johnny Gaudreau on the post-game skate with the gold medal, I mean, and now maybe a lot of people didn't know who he was.
Yeah, I think that was a problem. It took me a second to realize.
Okay, but if you didn't know, right, I think they tried to explain it, but they didn't want to step on the moment.
Yeah, that's a weird thing to.
So it's hard to do,
yeah.
but This is a young guy, Johnny Gaudreau, who was killed by a drunk driver 18 months ago. He and his brother were just going for a bike ride. They were in town for their sister's wedding. You remember the story?
I do. It's terrible.
That was one of the worst stories you've ever heard. Drunk driver just, ran them both down. And Gaudreau was this young superstar player who was, just beloved in the hockey community. And when they pulled his jersey out, and then I'm like, wow, that's got me. And then they thought, you know what, that's not enough. That's not enough. Chris isn't crying enough. So let's stop and let's get his kids out of the stands and bring them out on the ice to pose for the team picture. By that time I was blubber, So anyway, it's emotional and I love it though. Sports can do this, does do this. And in this world, in this time, we probably need it more than ever. So
I definitely I don't know. I understood the sadness of everything, but I also I look at these things as honoring him, and I look at it that way. Instead of being sad that he's not here, I look at it as that's really cool that they made him such a part.
I wasn't crying because I was sad. I thought it was just incredible that they did it.
What I'm trying to say is I didn't cry.
You didn't cry,
which makes me feel unhuman.
You're not. You are totally inhuman. If you watched that and knew who Johnny Gaudreau was at all,
and I'm not saying I'm tough or anything because I've cried for other stuff.
Didn't have a misty eye. My wife was bawling and she didn't know who he was. So
it was incredible what they did for him, and
really was
trust me, I felt the moment.
They showed his parents in the stands. Oh my goodness, it was
I did not sit there and be like, "This is dumb." No, I felt the moment. I'm not too cool, but here's something that I thought was awesome. Kenny Albert did such a great job,
so good
throughout the entire tournament, and here he is.
Up behind the net, and it's Werenski. Now Jack Hughes puts it around the car. United States with numbers. Walk across it comes. Jack Hughes wins it. The golden goal for the United States.
He made a lot of great calls during this.
Kenny Albert is he's at the top of the announcing world right now.
He should be.
He hit it right on the nail on the head on the women's game and the call and yesterday. And he, there's no question. He did a beautiful job. He stepped out. He let the crowd celebrate the way you should. I thought the directors missed a moment. The puck went into the net, and they kept showing the net.
Yeah.
And everybody was over here celebrating. It took them a while to make that cut, but I think we still got a pretty good idea of it. And then I give a lot of glory and credit to the kid who scored the goal, who was interviewed and just talked about the glory of what it was all about and being an American and
hockey player through and through. No teeth.
Yeah, he lost them in the game.
In that game?
Yes.
That's insane.
He traded those 2 teeth for a game-winning goal.
I just assumed that he had always had his teeth broken.
I had assumed the same thing. He lost them in the game.
Wow.
That is hockey, baby.
And he scores the winning goal.
That's hockey.
That's awesome.
We've talked about it before. I worked with the Gulls here and know these guys, but hockey guys are the best guys. They just
tough.
are. They're the best guys. and every one of them are from these little tiny towns that don't understand what the big, whoop is that they're out there. But, you could tell Team USA, they wanted this so bad. And I don't think Canada was too pleased to have to stand out there.
Oh, I wanted to talk to you about
an hour and a half.
They were so miserable.
Yeah.
Miserable.
Let them go off the ice. And then if you want, bring them back for the silver medal later on. But they had to sit there the whole time.
They get their silver medal, and then they have to watch the Americans get the goal.
No, even worse, they had to accept that little stuffed bear or whatever that thing was. What was that?
They gave it out to all the winners.
Well, they gave it to the losers, too.
Oh, my God.
Canada got one, and I think it was McKinnon.
Wow.
The Canadian guy just kind of flung it on the ice. He's
McKinnon.
He's like, I don't want this stupid thing.
In the Big Five, we have a case of misquoting, and McKinnon was done dirty by his own TSN, which is the sports network, which is ESPN in Canada, done dirty by his own.
Oh, they made
country.
him sound bad or something?
They made him sound terrible.
Yeah, I think Canada handled it all with great class. They wanted to win, of course, but they understood that this was the USA's moment.
USA.
Sports, it's the only thing. There's two things that bring us together. I've said it 100 times. And one is catastrophes.
Yeah.
And the other is sports.
I like
and frankly,
sports much better.
So, right. I'd rather come together on sports. And, for one day, we could forget about all this malarkey and just enjoy a great moment, or two or three.
I guess it was
in the Winter Olympics.
A high stick took out his teeth during the game. I turned on the game very late because I forgot it was on.
Oh, well, it started pretty early, right?
It did.
I, of course, had the DVR. I didn't watch it till later, but
that's fine. I wouldn't spoiled it for you.
Anyway, that was great.
How do you watch hockey on a DVR? Because in baseball, you fast forward a little bit, right?
Yeah, you fast forward when the puck goes out of play.
Oh, okay.
When the icing,
whenever there's no play.
Right, when there's icing, I don't have time to watch them skate down again. I just, and then we're ready to go.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, thumbs up to the Olympics on a year when I wasn't really into it, but it got me in the end. All right, Padres, we're going to talk about the new Babe Ruth, otherwise known as Jose Miranda. He had quite a debut, and so have a bunch of other guys, although J.P. Sears not so much in his first start today. We'll talk about that. Brewers got him for 4 runs in the first inning. They've just added a run, so 5-1 Milwaukee. Tony joins us after the game. We also got to get to this Aztec men's basketball team. I don't know if Ziegler's going to be able to join us today, but if he does, his article today was unlike any article I've ever seen him write about Aztec basketball.
Wow.
And we'll discuss that and everything else that's going on. Welcome to it. Gwynn and Chris, 97.3 The Fan.
Are you in?
at Padres.com/pride. Pitch here is launched in the air, deep to left field. Blanco racing back, reaches up, can't make the catch. It bounces up against the wall. Bowen scores easily from third base and into second with an RBI double. Freddie Fermin against his old team brings home the first run of the day. It's 1-0.
All right, that was Saturday, yeah. Padres beat the Royals on Saturday.
Yes,
Jose Miranda had the big game there. Had another home. Did he have? No, he had 4 hits or something and 4 RBIs and a double. And, he homered in the first game. So he's off to a great start. Padres won that game Saturday over the Royals easily, thanks to Miranda.
Yeah.
Of course, they lost to the Dodgers. I know it's spring training, but I still want to beat the Dodgers. For some reason.
I do too. When I saw Will
me.
Smith's name pop up on my
Annoys
phone,
me.
he drives in a run.
Can't we just at least beat him in a spring game? But we didn't.
No.
Vasquez pitched well, though, yesterday. That was a good sign. Couple of shutout innings, and he was throwing the ball crisply in the ball game yesterday. Not so good for J.P. Sears, though, today. He has started against the Brew Crew here. 2/3 of an inning, 4 runs. That's not what you want when you're trying to, make the starting rotation.
No.
And you have 8 guys competing with you.
That might be the worst way to start spring ever.
I'm not ready to give up on JP Sears.
No.
He's going to get a couple more chances, but that put him behind the 8 ball right off the bat.
If he was like 6th, if they're going pitcher rankings, and
if
he was
they had
6th,
rankings,
he probably goes back to 8th.
He just went back to 8th. Yeah. Anyway, and that's something that's interesting. Like, how do they do? Like Craig Stamon. That's a big part of what he's doing this spring. Is, I understand he's learning to, manage a game and little nuances of, actually being the manager. But how much weight do you put in Sears giving up 4 runs today? Is it a thing, or maybe? It's not. I don't know.
That's why I think it's a good thing they have a guy like Craig Stamon, because he's been there. But that's a very specific occurrence that they would need him for. But still, it's important in spring training.
Yeah, Mason Miller pitched another shutout inning today, as did David Morgan. As I mentioned, they're in the 7th inning. Oh, here's the one other note from today's game. For the Brewers, Brendan Lockridge just homered. Is that the law? That a former Padre has to hit a home run against the Padres?
I think so.
It really is. It seems like it never fails.
I would love to study other teams just to see if it's on par, and it probably is.
Maybe so,
even,
but
it just
we
seems
only keep
like
track of our team, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Every time the Padres have somebody, or they trade somebody, or they let them go, and they're picked up somewhere, bang,
bang.
So Lockridge, and did Lockridge ever even hit anything close to a home run when he was here?
I think he maybe had 1.
Yeah, he's already got 2 this spring training already. He's probably leading the Cactus League in home runs.
How much can change for a guy in a year? Last year, we were sitting down with Brandon Lockridge at spring training, talking to him about making the Padres team, and now he's hitting home runs for the Brewers, Chris.
Yeah, well, I'd rather him be hitting them for the Padres.
He's
not with the Padres anymore.
He had 1 home run in his Padres career, and it came in his rookies or 2024 season.
So he's already got 2 this spring.
Guess so.
It's how the Minnesota Twins had to feel like for 10 years when they watched David Ortiz make the Hall of Fame.
That would be tough.
Like the Minnesota Twins had, and if you've ever seen, I put this up there before, I had you look at it. If you ever saw a picture of David Ortiz with the Twins,
different human being.
He's a skinniest guy you've ever seen. He doesn't look like he could even hit the ball out of the infield.
Yeah.
And they had him for like 3 years, and he didn't hit the ball out of the infield. And they finally let him go, and he became Big Papi. And if you're the Twins, you're just like, what happened there?
Well, he didn't start doing what he was doing until after he left the Twins.
You hate to say it like that. But Big Papi's the only one in the Hall of Fame. He just, for some reason, it didn't count for him.
Well, because he's so lovable.
So lovable. Well, if lovable had anything to do with it, they'd take Jeff Kent out of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So what happened with this?
Jeff Kent.
I gotta look for this right now.
Jeff Kent is an idiot. I'm sorry. You don't do what he did yesterday.
Let me look.
I think it was yesterday or Saturday. I mean, you got most of you probably heard it on Twitter somewhere. Jeff Kent was like a guest in the booth during the Giant game yesterday, and evidently they asked him about a play when Alex.
I have it.
Okay, well, here's what he said. Be careful with what he said, because he almost swore.
But he did
on
not
the air.
swear. Let me listen to this first.
Why don't you listen to it first? But from what I understand, the announcer, Jeff Kent's in the Hall of Fame. So he goes to the Giant game. There he's at the spring training. They bring him up to the booth. Hey, Jeff, we love you. Come on in. Why don't you sit here for half an inning? And, they do this kind of thing. Padres will bring like Dave Winfield in sometimes or somebody like that. And then they asked him about some play where I think he got taken out by Alex Rodriguez.
I think we should just play it.
You just want to play it. And here's what Jeff Kent.
Yeah, if you have younger kids, they turn it off for like 10 seconds.
All right, but it's legal to play.
Yes, it's legal to play.
All right, here's Jeff Kent.
And by the way, Luis Arraez at bat taking a strike to start his at bat.
You survived it, but I think you got banged up a little bit. I think you went on the deal for a little bit.
Yeah, I did. He tore my knee up. He slid and rolled his fat ass past the base, the son of a bitch, and put me out for a little while. I was not happy about that.
Has he ever forgotten it?
I mean, you could say it to your pal if you're walking down the street. You don't say that on the radio, on the air, with John Miller sitting right there asking you a question about it.
That's pretty funny.
Rolled his little ass behind the base.
Yes.
Come on, Jeff. Have a little bit of. This is the same guy, went on the injury list because he was washing his truck. We never believed any of that.
Yeah.
So.
What? I wonder what actually happened.
He probably was,
doing something stupid and
skiing or playing basketball or something. He should have done.
He was washing his truck.
Apparently, that's what he said.
That's an aggressive truck washing.
He was out for a while on that one.
That's hilarious.
But he's in the Hall of Fame. So if it comes down to being nice, I don't think that's evidently not the only requirement.
Wow.
For the Hall of Fame.
Hilarious. But again, Luis Arraez taking first strikes left and right.
He took first and second strike yesterday and then grounded to short. I saw that.
He did.
So, we're broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios. We know how. Tony will be with us after Padre baseball. They're trailing 5-1 in the seventh inning. The Padre won today was a Miguel Andujar home run. Remember to listen around 5:35 today. We'll announce today's biggest fan for a chance to qualify for the night in the Odyssey Suite at a future Padres game with all of the fan staff. It'll be catered by Spiro's Mediterranean Cuisine. Register your name at 973thefansd.com/biggest fan. That will get you in a position where you could potentially have your name called. Matt Snyder joins us after the break to talk some baseball, but we're not to the break yet. So let's talk, and I want to get to the Aztec stuff, but I'm saving it in case Ziegler comes on. I don't want to go through it twice.
Should I text him again?
Just see if he's coming on. If he can make it, great. If we'll hold off. If not, I want to talk about what he wrote about today, because I've not ever seen an article like this for Mark Ziegler. This is not on him, by the way. He's just pointing out things that I've never seen pointed out with an Aztec men's basketball team. But while you're doing that, let's talk about football.
Yes.
How about 5-0 to open the season, or 5-0, sorry.
Yeah, 5-0. Come on.
Yeah, I know. Get it right. But SDFC, wow. Hello. Welcome to the season. They didn't even need Dreyer to score. He just took he played, but he didn't score.
Remember last year? They couldn't score a goal to open, but now they scored 5.
They just massacred old Montreal there. So see you later.
That's a long flight home for them.
Sorry for them, yeah. But good start for SDFC. I believe they're home again for their second match before they go out on the road. They also had a LAFC or LA Galaxy played Miami at the Coliseum this weekend. 75,000.
Yeah.
Went to that match.
That's pretty crazy.
I better get with it on soccer.
Andy, I know.
Sounds like
me
soccer's
too.
taking over.
Me
I better,
too. Well, is that the
figuring
Messi
it out
effect?
more.
I wonder if that's the Messi effect.
It's all the Messi effect, isn't it? I mean, the Galaxy, I don't think they drew 75,000 on their own.
Oh, here we go. I wasn't sure, so I'm learning, Chris. I didn't want to say something before I confirmed it.
Right.
But SDFC did pick up a 1919-year-old kid named Duran Ferry.
Oh, yeah, the goalkeeper.
Yes, and he's from
he had to play the game
San Diego Loyal.
Yeah, he's like, I think last week he was playing in an AYSO game in Kearney Mesa. He's just some little kid. They picked him up because all their goalies are hurt.
Yep.
And he ends up getting the shutout. So good for him. That was a great start to the season for SDFC. 5 rock, as I like to say. All right.
Are you going to get to the worst part? Or, well, I guess you're waiting for Ziegler. I was going to say.
The Aztec basketball was just it was not a great performance. And, these are college kids, so I don't like to be, critical. It's not my thing on college sports. But now that they're getting paid all this money, they're almost professional. Yeah. I feel like I almost expect a little better. And basically, I'll just give you a little thought of it. If you didn't read Ziegler's article today, I know nobody gets the paper anymore, but
it's still online.
Yeah, it's still online. Basically, he wrote an article that said this team is not playing for each other. They're playing for themselves. And he said in this day and age with the money and the pro and going here and going there, and are you going to transfer next year or are you not going to transfer? He said all of that stuff is kind of, has a lot to do with the fact that this Aztec team is just not gelled in any way, shape, or form. I don't know what the reason is, but he's right. They have not gelled in any way, shape, or form. Of all of the teams I've ever seen Dutcher have, and before that, Fisher, the Aztec men's basketball team has always been better than the sum of its parts. This year, they're worse. And I don't ever remember that before. They've got talented players. We know this, right? We know Guath is a talent. We know Bird is a talent. We know Dixon Waters is a shooter. We know some of these other guys that transferred in here are big time players. But this team is less than the sum of those players. The team.
Yeah.
And that's why they're getting beat. I have not ever, and I mean, going back again to the Fisher days, Colorado State must have had 10 layups the other day on guys just cutting to the basket and no one was there. That is not Aztec basketball that I know. And, Colorado State hit some threes, etc. That's fine. But when I see them running a little screen and the guy just runs in and they pass it to him and he lays it in unguarded and it happened all day. And then I read Ziegler's article the next day and it said, analytically, it was their worst defensive performance, according to analytics who figured this stuff out, their worst defensive performance in 8 years.
So
you could see it. They're I don't know, the communication is not there, whether the caring isn't there. You got to play for each other in order to be great. And that's harder and harder to do now. Yeah. Because every kid has to keep their own personal game in mind.
Yep. It was like Miles Bird. He tested the NBA. He's coming back. He had a slow start. He's probably thinking his NBA dreams have faded a little bit. So he's trying to make things happen.
I don't want to speak for any of these kids because I'm not there. I'm not in their head.
But you can understand
you can understand what's going on. Yeah. And the fact that Miles Bird and Magoon Guath came back, we all thought meant Final Four. But you know what? The question I have is, did Miles Bird and Magoon Guath come back to play for the Aztecs, or did they come back to play for themselves? And I'm not knocking them because I don't know. I'm not in their head. I'm not at practice. But this team has not come together. That's clear.
And you got to wonder how many of the guys that are on the team that could stay, whether or not they're just over it. This team is not playing for each other. Some of the guys like Elsie Harrington, Farrell Compton, some of those guys.
Elsie's still starting his career out.
I know.
It hasn't worked this year. It's not too late because they have enough talent. But they're going to have to make a major change in attitude between now and about 2 weeks from now.
Like Magoon Guath, has he put himself in a position to go somewhere better?
Not that I'm going to give him the money to do.
But someone may.
But he's still 7 foot.
Yeah.
He can still make a three, and he can block a shot. Somebody out there is going to say, hey, we'll have him do this for us. For the Aztecs this year, they haven't been able to get him healthy. But is he truly not healthy, or is he not trying to get healthy? I don't know. Unfortunately, that question is now coming up, though, because you wonder, are these kids in it for San Diego State or themselves? And it's not just the Aztecs. You can go all over college basketball. This is happening everywhere.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of caught us, and we've never really had it be part of this program.
Rod says on the chat, Aztecs need more NIL money. I disagree and agree with that. Yes, they need more money, but it also adds other sorts of outside pressures.
Other problems come with it. I don't know. I'm glad I didn't donate $4 or $5 million to each player on Michigan after I watched them play the other day against Duke. They couldn't make a basket. So, there's a lot to it. We'll talk more about it. Ziegler will hopefully join us. If not, we'll talk about it without him.
He will join us.
And then Matt Snyder, though, is next on baseball. And Gwynn and Chris continues.
Ben and Woods on the Fan.
The director of
Stay low. Hands on the heart. Stay low. All the way. Here we go. you idiot. Right. Typical tandem student right there.
I tried. I wrecked your good job, buddy.
Fun, huh?
You need help with anything?
Okay, I'm nervous. Stand up, stay low. Hands on the heart. Stay low.
Cello
Sorry.
and the voice is
I was gonna say.
having a day.
It is.
I don't know whatever happened to my eye on Friday has now gone to my voice. Welcome
did
to my
happen with
life.
your
I don't know.
eye?
I had an infection, they said, and I don't mean to be too gross about it. I got some drops and I'm fine now.
All right.
But the voice is not great today. Tony Gwynn Jr. will be joining us after the Padres game. They're in the 8th inning currently in Peoria, 5-1 Brew Crew. Brendan Lockridge, former Padres homered. Miguel Andujar counting for the Padre run with a homer. J.P. Sears, not such a good start to his spring.
No.
Gave up 4 runs in the first inning. Didn't even finish the first inning. He was taken out after 2/3 of an inning, 4 hits, 4 runs. So
I know that if we were to ask Tony, now my voice is going.
yeah,
If we were to ask Tony about, hey, you got to feel pretty terrible about that outing, I would say if you're JP Sears, Tony's going to say, no, you're just going to flush it. I would say if I'm JP Sears, there's somewhere in the back of my head I am thinking about that outing and
don't know that flushing it is an option right now. You can't. You certainly can't have another outing like that.
No.
I mean, you're competing against 7 other guys.
Yeah.
Now, if you were Joe Musgrove and he gives up 4 runs, then you say, forget it. I'll just pitch better tomorrow. But JP Sears can't afford that.
I mean, you got Randy Vasquez pitching well. You had Matt Waldron pitching well.
We haven't seen any of the other guys yet, right? We haven't seen Marquez. We haven't seen Canning. Are we going to see Canning or is he hurt? He's hurt, but he's throwing bullpens. So I'm confused on him a little bit.
Yeah, me too.
I don't believe he's available till May.
Well, he did tear his Achilles, in like June?
I don't know, but he's throwing bullpens. So he's okay to do that. Maybe just not well enough to move around the mound and actually pitch in a game. We'll ask him. He'll be on later. Matt Snyder is going to be on shortly. Talk a little CBS Sports baseball with us. Tonight, it's a bad sports stretch right here.
Do you think that's why the Olympics is so popular?
We needed the Olympics to give us something the last couple of weeks, but we're counting on Houston, Arizona basketball tonight. Pretty much it as far as the basketball or as far as the sports schedule is concerned. Matt Snyder, always awesome to talk to him. Thank you so much for being on the show today, Matt. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We are great. We're watching, a little baseball, which I think everybody's having some fun with. Let me ask you, we were just talking about this. J.P. Sears, the guy's in a battle with 7 other pitchers for a couple of spots. Gives up 4 runs in the first inning today. Like, how do teams look at that, right? I mean, it's something, but at the same time, you don't want to eliminate the guy for 4 bad pitches. No. So where, you know what I mean? I wonder where they go with this.
Yeah, the official answer is I don't know, because we don't know everything that is said leading up to the start. We don't know exactly what they're looking for. I always reference, this is something from way back, but it's when Edwin Jackson was with the Cubs one of those years, so 2014 probably, and they just wanted to see if he made a certain tweak with his fastball, and so his entire outing, it was like 65 pitches, was only fastballs. So the results, you might take a back seat to something, and we don't know what, because they keep it behind closed doors, but there are certain things that each individual is working on, and I don't necessarily think that they're looking at the results of the outing in terms of the runs he gave up or how hard he got hit. Obviously never good to get hit hard or allow runs. But it's a lot more than that in spring training.
Yeah.
And, the lineups they face and everything. And I think to go to the other end, even if a guy goes out and he throws like a perfect 3 innings, I don't necessarily think that would give him a leg up, because he might be facing a lineup full of guys who aren't even regulars or anything like that. And maybe his stuff looked flat and he just got lucky on the results. So it's always difficult, especially this early in the spring, to take anything away based just on the results.
Good point. As you know, that's what Matt does.
I know.
I have him on the show.
I was like thinking, oh no, JP Sears, this is terrible. And then
You've
Matt
given up on the guy already. Yeah, you would. What are you hearing about Craig Stamon around baseball, Matt? I mean, I don't know if you've had a chance to, sit and talk with him, but we've been impressed. And I'm not going to say we're looking to, tear him down. But the one thing that's really impressed me the most is his willingness to say, I don't know everything yet. I'm learning. And he's bringing in good people around him. And, he's using his knowledge and he's adding that knowledge to the, his knowledge. And so far, so good. I've been pretty impressed. What are you hearing?
That, not a ton aside from that stuff. But I tell you, that's such a good place to start. It really is, especially being a new guy. Or at least in terms of being a manager. And it's only a couple weeks so far. It's not even March. To come in and be a new guy like that and act like you know everything about everything, that may not be such a bad sign. But you see it sometimes. You see guys who come in and start acting like tyrants and acting like they invented baseball, and you see it in other sports too. You see it with football coaches all the time, where they come in and they act like they know everything about everything. And if you question them, then it's a problem. So far so good. Again, I don't know the win-loss record, but it does not matter. So I would sure hope nobody's looking at that, whether it's good or bad, because it really doesn't matter in the spring at all, especially not this early. But gotta say, very impressed with somebody coming in and straight up saying, I don't know everything, especially not yet.
Yeah.
And being open-minded and being adaptable, fungible,
Fungible. I like that. I like that word. I'm going to start using fungible.
Yeah, don't use it around Tony. He won't know what you mean.
Yeah. And then he's going to use it on the air. He's going to be like, they're fungible. We're talking to Matt Snyder, and he is brought to you by the SDCCU fan hotline. It's not big bank banking. It's better. Craig Stamon's real first, I guess, curveball for all of us was the lineup on Friday and the last couple days. Fernando Tatis Jr. in the cleanup spot, Xander Bogaerts in the leadoff spot. And after, Fernando didn't say that he didn't like hitting leadoff last year, but you could kind of tell it didn't seem like that was his best spot in his mind. Do you think that cleanup is a better spot for Fernando?
Gosh, I don't know if I would want him that low even. It's so many fewer at bats.
That's what we were talking about.
Bogaerts,
yeah.
Merrill. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I mean, look, the Phillies dropped Schwarber down from leadoff to third last year, and his RBI total absolutely exploded. But you're talking about Trey Turner and Bryce Harper being front. For me, is Xander going to be productive enough to justify hitting him leadoff? I doubt that. I would be surprised. I would much rather see a setup where if you wanted Tatis to be closer to the middle, something like Merrill, Machado, Tatis, and then maybe Bogaerts behind Tatis, something like that. But at some point you're just splitting hairs. And it's not like so many managers will say the lineup's not the biggest deal in the world. Maybe he's playing around a little bit. Maybe things will change in season. So much is going to come down to, how does Jackson Merrill bounce back from last season? That's an X factor in the lineup right there. But it's obviously so much is going to come down to how everybody's hitting and how it fits together. But my initial thought is don't love it, because when you're talking about somebody who's probably your most talented player, probably your best player for this season, I would rather him bat more often than not. So if you want to say he's not comfortable leadoff, I might say, okay, fine, how's second? And if he says that's too early in the lineup, I'd say how's third? Because I would rather him bat more often than not.
Well, we that's the thing we brought up. I mean, we figured it's probably another 40 appearances at least, maybe a few more over the course of a season.
That can be a lot of value lost.
That's quite
over
a
the
bit.
course of the season.
Quite a bit. Matt Snyder's with us from CBS Sports. Matt, we love having you on to talk baseball, and that's why I'm totally going to stay away from the MLBPA and the replacement for Tony Clark. I'll let everybody else talk about that. I would rather ask you about, the ABS system and really what you're thinking, not based so much on what's happened so far, but I will tell you the Campusano went 2 for 2 the other day behind the plate. And I start thinking about these catchers, man, they got a really good look and they could just challenge all day long. It seems to me, as long as they're right, they don't lose a challenge. Is there any concern that this may go awry, or are we pretty comfortable that this is going to be, just a small little addition to the game?
Well, maybe I'm off base here, and I didn't think that they were going to be this amazing at it, but I still am very optimistic and think it's going to be great. I mean, you think about how many big missed pitches have happened during the course that you have during the course of a major league season. You think about bases loaded, 2 out situation, 3-2 count. To miss a call there changes the entire trajectory of the game. And the umpires, I think more than anyone else, don't want to have that, so to speak, blood on their hands. They would much rather get it right. So I think having the players have the option to get it fixed and get it right, not change the outcome of the game, I think that's a good thing. But yeah, I mean, if the catchers are getting so good that, every time the umpire misses something by a centimeter that they catch it, then the challenges become unlimited. Maybe it's something where we'll have to circle back and say, okay,
that's what I'm thinking.
You get 4 maximum correct answers or something like that. But I mean, gosh, isn't the name of the game is to get it right, and it only adds 10 seconds, 15 max.
I mean,
right?
ask Xander Bogaerts in the last at bat of the year. I mean, he almost got,
he almost got ejected himself.
He almost got a suspension for how he went after the umpire. But anyway,
I have a question
those,
for Matt.
Those are too important to miss, and I don't think you want to get into a situation where, hey, you're out of challenges even though you didn't miss any. It seems too important to say, look, you already challenged 2, you got them right. You don't have any more because we decided to max them because games were taking too long. No, I would rather say, you know what, let's get this right. And let's make sure that somebody's season doesn't end on something that was a missed call. So I like it so far. And I like that it's not one of those. Remember the first year of replay, I thought was kind of a disaster because we had that thing where the manager would walk out and he'd be walking out all slow as he was looking back toward the dugout, and it took forever. And then the challenges, they'd look at it forever. The thing about this is it's not even a manager. It has to be the catcher, pitcher, or the batter, and they have to do it right away. And then it only takes 10 to 15 seconds. So I think it's a great, great thing.
We're talking to Matt Snyder, CBS Sports here on 97.3 The Fan. I got to ask you about the Giants manager, Tony Vitello. I am a little bit too obsessed with what's going on up in San Francisco, mainly because I have a bunch of friends texting me, asking me what is happening. But he sits down with the media for his first scrum of his managerial career, and he brings up how him taking the job got leaked while he was still at Tennessee. Then he goes on for a little bit. It's just been a weird start. He went on KNBR in San Francisco, still talking about it, still seems like he's angry about it. Am I just making too big of a deal out of this, or is there something here?
Maybe, but I might be with you here in a second because there's a lot of college coach persona. It makes me think of Mick Cronin last week at Michigan State when the guy asked
a lot about him.
And then he said, you raising your voice at me? Okay, you're not an authority figure over the media. He can raise his voice at you if he wants. If you raise your voice at him, he can do it right back to you. I think a lot of the college coaches have this mindset, like I'm the boss and I rule all over everybody. And worrying so much about a media leak makes it seem like he thinks he's an authority figure over the media. And if he thinks it's that way, how is he going to be in the clubhouse with somebody like Willie Adames making tens of millions of dollars? And how is somebody like that, Matt Chapman, Willie Adames, any of those guys, going to respond and be like, dude, who do you think you are over me?
Yeah.
And the other thing I heard that I don't love is the whole pitcher, the managers calling pitches thing. These are professional catchers, and you already have in Bailey one of the most highly respected defensive catchers in baseball. now you're going to take that away from him when he's the one who sees and feels everything behind the plate. You're going to call pitches from the dugout. These are professionals, not kids. Those two things I do not love. So we'll see. Maybe we're both overreacting, but I'm right with you. Those two. At first, when I heard about the hire, I was like, okay, cool, off the wall hire, trying something new. Let's see how it works out. Not loving it so far.
Well, we are loving it because we're hoping that it'll make the Giants be terrible.
Yes.
So that's how we're looking at it. Matt Snyder. Yeah, right. Matt Snyder's with us. I was going to go Bill Mazeroski and do a little, thinking back to the glory days, but I see your article here on the WBC and Scooble and how they're doing the pitching. This tournament is a weird thing to me. I know that the players talk about it meaning so much, but ultimately, everybody wants to do what's best for themselves also. So, how do you get through these tournaments and keep everybody happy and try to win the tournament? There's a lot happening here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that where they are right now is probably a good place. I'm surprised on Scooble because my thought process with the pitchers was you can just do the same work that you were going to do in spring training anyway. It's not like they've got guys out there trying to throw complete games or even 7 innings or even 5. I mean, they're going to be throwing 3 or 4 innings max. You could be doing that in spring training anyway. So I'm surprised that Scooble's a one and done there. All he would need is one more outing if he was USA's ace, because you assume you advance from pool play, then you get to the quarterfinals, then semifinals and championship. That's only 3 more games. I would have assumed that it would have been Scooble and Skeens 1 and 2, and then probably Logan Webb number 3, and said, okay, Skeens 1, Webb 2, somebody like Matthew Boyd 3. Still really, really stacked for the WBC, but it takes a little bit of the luster off of USA because we're all talking about how stacked they are, and now we're losing the 2-time Cy Young winner from the championship round. So a little bit of a setback. But yeah, the way I always looked at it was, as I said, sorry to repeat myself, but I always looked at it as they're just putting in the same work they're putting in spring training, especially on the pitching side. The position players, they have to play a full game instead of 3 to 5 innings, but that doesn't put too much extra strain on you. That was the way I always looked at it. Hard to figure on Scooble, just the one and done there instead of throwing one more out. That's just weird to me.
Well, we are losing a few guys, but I don't think
losing,
like
Corbin
right?
Carroll,
But no, we're talking about the Padres are going to be sending a pretty good contingent. So good for them. The last time they did it, they didn't do great when they came back. It took a while to figure it out. But I think this time they have a little better handle on it. Matt, you are the man. We really love having you on. Thanks as always. We can't thank you enough, but appreciate your insight.
No
and we'll talk to you soon, man. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Matt Snyder, CBS Sports baseball guy, and he wrote about the Scooble situation. If you want to read about that, it's on CBS Sports right now. But
Matt and I have some similarities. Like, he's way smarter in baseball and all that stuff and writing, but we definitely can go on a daily gripe rant.
You both have the same name.
He has Snyder's soapbox.
You have the same name too.
What is that?
Matt.
Oh, duh. Oh, wait. I just realized that we're both MS. Matt Skraby, Matt Snyder. This is things we're figuring out on the fly, Chris.
Padres are rallying in this spring training game against the Brewers. It's 5-4.
Woohoo!
Tell you what they did when we come back and get into hour number 2.
Chris are ready to go.
It's that one out to left center field. It's tailing away from Brown. It's going to bounce and roll to the base of the wall. Reyes has scored. Campusano's on his way. Miranda's right behind him. Here's the throw to the plate, and he is safe. A bases clearing double for Romeo Sanabria.
Yeah, Sanabria's now got a 1,500 OPS.
That's a really fun name to say, too.
Actually, I take it
Romeo
back.
Sanabria.
I take it back. He's got a 2,000 OPS.
Wow.
He's got a 500 on base, 1,500 slug.
Dang.
He hit the first home run of the year the other day. 3-run double there that brought the Padres back. They have since taken the lead on the Brew Crew. A 6-run rally for the Friars in the bottom of the 8th inning. The go-ahead run scored on the old balk. Came in from third on that. I don't think it was Pat Murphy, but somebody representing the Brewers came out of the dugout. Looked like they wanted to argue, and then they were like, what am I doing? I can't argue. This is spring training. What am I going to throw my hat and kick the dirt?
Yeah.
You know?
Get ejected from a spring training game?
So he went back. Padres, though, lead now 7-5. They're still playing in the 8th. Tony will be joining us when the game is over. So good on the Padres. A little fight back here after JP Sears had the rough start. 4 runs and 2/3
Way to pick
of
up
an
your
inning.
guy, guys. Way to pick up your guy.
Not a good start. The other note on the day, and I got to ask Tony about this and see if he'll be able to help us. Skraby and I are watching. We have the sound down, so we didn't hear what Tony and Jesse were saying. Justin Yeager pitching for the Padres in the 7th inning today. 6'4", 215 pounds. He's a unit. Big lug. And they stopped the game, and out comes Craig Stamon. Out comes one of the trainers. I think is one of the assistant trainers. I'm not positive. I don't have the whole staff memorized, but it was a young lady.
I would assume so.
You know, it looked like an assistant trainer or somebody on the staff. And she hands Justin Yeager a fingernail clipper, and he's standing on the mound, and he's clipping his fingernails. And I kid you not, when he was done, the young lady started filing the nails.
She did.
And Skraby and I are like, what is this? He getting a petty here on the mound?
he's going to get a mani-pedi on the mound.
If he would have taken his shoes off, that would have said, that's going too far.
I've seen them do this before, but not in the spring training.
I've never seen actually a guy getting a pedicure on the mound during the game.
I mean, you pitch. Does your fingernail, do they get involved that much? I guess maybe. They do.
If you're a knuckleballer, it's really important, but I don't think this guy's a knuckleballer, so I don't know what happened, and I got to find out what Tony and Jesse thought of it. So.
That is really funny.
Timeout. Pitcher's getting a pedicure, or a manicure. We'll be back to action shortly.
The Royals on Saturday batted out of order. Like,
it's spring training.
I know, but still, like, that's the most fundamental
season. Once in a while,
when there's switches and stuff.
Yeah, it can happen.
I don't know. I've ever seen that in a regular season game. I'm sure
Definitely seen it. One of the things I haven't seen too often was one of the guys in the game the other day against the Padres. I think it was with the Mariners. Took ball 3 and ran to first base, and the umpire had to bring him back. But while he was coming back, the on-deck hitter thought he was up.
Oh.
So he had his head down. He walked all the way around and got in the left-handed batter's box.
He wasn't thinking.
And he was getting ready, and they're like, what are you doing here? And he looked back at the other, what? And he goes, the other guy's still up.
He was just getting in the zone.
So, that is spring training for everybody. You never quite can tell. But I got to get to the bottom of this manicure that Yeager was getting in the 7th inning today. No comprende on that at all. 7-5 Padres, as mentioned. And all of the guys that came through here in the 6-run 8th inning are guys you're not all familiar with, but they came through. So Padres lead going to the 9th, I believe.
Oh, it's such a blowout. They
turned it off of MLB Network. They're like, we've had enough of it. They're showing some other stuff now. So we'll get the final when we get the final. All right, Skraby, let's do a little daily gambit. We had a lot of games this weekend. We find out how they turned out.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo!
If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
Daily Gambit is our daily sports betting segment here on Gwynn and Chris. Please, everybody, gamble responsibly. We made some bets on Friday, and it started with the OKC Thunder. I don't remember who they played, but they were 17.5-point favorites.
Brooklyn,
That's right.
I think they won by 19.
They did 105-86. We all chose OKC. Clippers at Lakers -6. Lakers were -6.5. You guys went Lakers. I went Clippers. Lakers won the game, but they did not win by enough. 125-122.
Tony owes me on that one because I did not send him the clip of LeBron flopping again. I guess because he thinks that basically it's just. But the guy on the Clippers, I kid you not, Skraby. I looked at this 8 times. The guy just kind of moved him away from him with the elbow. Did not throw the elbow, right? Just kind of LeBron went down and then did like 4 flips. It really was embarrassing. I'm not on. I'm just saying.
I'm trying to find a video. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll find
able
it.
to easily. He looks like I didn't see the flop, but they're just showing him pounding the ground.
Like, hard.
Yeah.
But if you.
Let's go to the next one, which is the total score in the game over under 225.5. We all went over. We are all correct. It was 146, 147,
big
247. Sorry, 247. Zion over under 24.5 points. We all went over. He had 32. The Miami of Ohio Redhawks -7.5 on the spread. We all went Miami. They won 91-77. Still undefeated, I believe.
Yeah, and. What do they say? Good teams win, great teams cover. They keep covering.
They do. They've been
good.
Arizona at Houston. Houston favored by 4.5 points. You guys went Arizona. I went Houston. Arizona won the game 73-66. And then Michigan -2.5 against Duke. We all went Michigan. We were all duped by Duke. 68-63 win for them.
Well, Michigan shot about 20% in the second half. That's what I said earlier. I mean, these are like $1 million NIL players. They couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. It was unbelievable.
And they are 25-2.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. They can't play that very often, but they did on Saturday.
And when it mattered,
Duke's the number 1 team now again.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Aztecs -2.5 at Colorado State. We all went Aztecs. They lost. Aztecs lost 83-74.
Blown out on that one.
And we will have Mark Ziegler on at 340.
Okay, that's good.
Yes.
All right, so we'll talk about the men's team with Mark.
Yes.
And what he wrote about today. And we touched on it a little bit earlier if you missed it, but where's this team going to go? And can they get anywhere now? They clearly have to win they clearly have to win the Mountain West tournament now.
Yeah.
To make the field. But while they lost, the women, they won the championship Saturday. So good for Stacey Terry Hudson. They are 16-1 in the conference. What a year they're having. So
did I read on the chat that you were able to get a little piece of net?
I got some net. I got the net. I got my piece of the net. Yeah. And
where are you keeping? Now you have 2 pieces of net.
I won from last year. I won from this year. Don't know if I was supposed to get the one last year.
I think you were. Well, didn't you go up? No, didn't Stacey Terry call you over?
No, last year she was too busy celebrating. I went up myself last year and said, I'm just getting one. And that was that. This year, I think, I was kind of encouraged. I think it was fine.
You already have a ring. Are you going to get another ring?
I don't know if they're going to get a ring for the regular season. I personally think you hold off, you win the tournament, then you get the ring.
I mean, where do they face it, or where do they stack up in this tournament? The Mountain West Women's Tournament.
Well, they're going to be the number 1 seed, of course.
But
they're going to have to beat all these teams. You got to beat all these teams you've been beating all year. You got to beat them 3rd time.
It's tough.
It's always hard. So we'll see. But great. They got some really, I'll be honest with you. The women's team is doing everything this year that the men's team is not.
Playing together.
Yeah,
and things like that.
They, for lack of a better term, they love each other. They work. They play for each other. They don't care who scores the basket. Sounds simple, but it's not simple. in this day and age of the NIL. Kids want to score the basket now. That team doesn't care who scores it. They play as a team. They're better than the sum of their parts.
My algorithm does not show me your pictures because I did not see this tweet at all.
Oh, I tweeted out. I Facebooked my pictures.
Adam just sent it to me. I didn't know you actually put up pictures on online. I didn't see these.
How do you not get my Twitter feed?
I don't know. I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I tweeted
Maybe
it
I
out.
blocked you. No,
that would actually explain it.
I wouldn't be able to see your account if I blocked you. That's weird. I'm gonna look into it. But I just retweeted the post.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm up on top there, and I didn't fall. And
yes, Gonzo, I do follow LO.
I was one of the last people up for the net, and I was told going up there, don't cut the whole net down. That's for the coach. And I was like, all right already, but I have experience. Let me go.
We're going to have to do our bets on the other side.
I will say this. I'm kind of glad that I can't dunk, Skraby. You know why? Because when you're up at that rim, you're way up there.
Oh, you are up there.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Most of us are not used to being that high above the floor.
No. That would be fun, though, for a day, be able to get that high on the...
One time,
yeah,
you
just
think?
Tomahawk. Boom!
Gotta say I agree. It would be pretty fun
amazing
to be able to dunk.
To actually fly, the closest thing humans can do to flying.
Be cool. All right, we'll take a break. We'll do some bets afterwards. Mark Ziegler at the bottom talking about this men's team, which is spiraling badly. And more Gwynn and Chris still ahead after some traffic, I believe.
Traffic will be at the end of the break.
Okay. All right, it's all over in Peoria. Padres with the 6-run 8th rally. Beat the Brew Crew 7-5. Roman Sanabria had the big one.
Romeo.
Oh, Romeo. Sorry. Yes, Romeo Sanabria had the big hit. 3-run double. Got the Padres back in it. And then Balk was mixed in there a little bit in the 8th inning rally. And before you know it, Padres rally from 5-1 down to get the win. Miguel Andujar did homer early in the game, his first of the spring. And J.P. Spears struggled in the early going, gave up 4 runs in 2/3 of an inning. We'll see how much that means going forward.
Quick note on that,
yes.
Possibly. J.P. Sears, it was pointed out to me, he has, obviously he has a contract with 2 more years of arbitration. These other guys only have 1-year contracts, so maybe he has a little bit of leeway. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know how much leeway you're going to get if you're going to give up 4 in the first. And I'm not trying to overblow it. We'll see what Tony says, but yeah, you're going to have to show something because, Marquez and Canning and
Bueller
and Marco Gonzalez and Tristan McKenzie. You got a lot of competition. Somebody's going to pitch lights out of that group, right?
Yep. Someone's going to get that job. And Matt Waldron has suddenly thrust himself back in the mix.
And, of course, Vasquez is doing his thing.
Yeah.
Pitched well. A couple of quick baseball notes before I get to some picks tonight. Former Padre Graham Pauley shut down.
Uh-oh.
Miami Marlins now, third baseman.
Did he hit himself with another pitch?
Oh, when he fouled off the ball off his own head? No, let's leave him alone for that.
I will never forget it.
He did have an MRI today, and he's been shut down. He's got soreness in his throwing arm. He was going to compete for the starting third base job with the Marlins, but hasn't even appeared in a spring game. It's not looking too good for Graham Pauley right now. Hate to see stuff like that.
Yeah,
Injuries.
Injuries are not
take
fun.
you out. Cubs are taking a flyer on Michael Conforto, who tried with the Dodgers last year by the time the playoffs ran around. But, go look at Conforto. He hit 199 last year.
Yeah.
Didn't it seem like he had like 5 key hits against the Padres, though, or something?
Yeah,
you know what I
did.
mean?
Totally.
I don't know if he did, but it just seemed like he did. So he's going to go to the Cubs and see if he can't make that squad. And the Orioles have added your former guy, Giant second baseman Thairo Estrada. Minor league deal.
Help me win a fantasy baseball championship.
Well, that's why I said your guy.
Thank you.
Guys like that get a special place in your heart.
Yeah, I've been studying for fantasy baseball. I think I've overstudied
paralysis
already.
By analysis.
Yeah,
be careful.
I don't think I should be studying any further.
One other minor league guy signed today, Rhys Hoskins.
Oh, where?
Cleveland Guardians.
His market did not materialize like he probably thought.
Yeah. I know that Bryce Harper put in to have him come back to Philadelphia. Why doesn't Bryce Harper just buy his own team and then he can do whatever the hell he wants all the time?
We had our guy John Kincaid on.
I'm getting a little tired of Bryce Harper, honestly, and I'm trying to be a fan.
We had our guy John Kincaid on last week, and he said
Bryce is Bryce. I mean, you kind of got to like him or he's going to bug you.
Yeah.
Well, he's bugging me now. Kind of got to the point with him. He's bugging me. Manny ranked 4th, by the way, in Buster Olney's third baseman rankings today. Who do you think beat him?
He was 4th?
He was 4th.
Jose Ramirez.
Jose Ramirez, number 1. He's got to be.
Alex Bregman.
Alex Bregman, number 2. I'd take Manny over him, but they went Bregman. I get it. I'll get the other one.
Is it AL or NL?
AL. You won't get it.
Would it be? Oh, well, no, never mind. Who is it?
Junior Caminero.
I mean, you would have given me at least 4 hours. I would have come up with that
in 4 hours.
And about 90 guesses.
Yeah, he hit 40-something home runs last year. So anyway, man, he got 4th in the Buster Only rankings. All right, here's our picks for tonight. We have. Is that always the music for the picks?
Sometimes.
Okay.
There's a couple different ones.
Louisville, -3.5 at North Carolina. Basketball. I don't quite understand this spread. North Carolina's pretty good. I know Louisville's good, but North Carolina's playing at home, getting 3.5.
That is strange.
That That sounds like one of those ones where they know something and I don't know what it is. Oh, I know what it is. North Carolina's best player got hurt. He's out for the year.
Ah, there you go.
That's exactly what that is. But you know what?
They're going to rally.
I'm taking North Carolina. You know why?
Why?
Louisville doesn't know it, but one of their assistant coaches is going to get punched in the face after this game.
I'm going to go Louisville just for that.
You're going for Louisville?
Yeah.
To keep North Carolina from punching one of their coaches?
Yes.
Because obviously the kids at North Carolina are completely out of control.
That is, yeah.
So they're going to storm the court. Louisville coaches are going to put their catcher's masks on as they walk off the floor to protect themselves against this angry mob.
John Shire's just going to start walking around the balloon.
The John Shire
bubble.
attackers. All right, this is a really good game tonight. Houston -1.5 at Kansas. Houston's lost 2 straight. Kansas at home. And the word is that finally Peterson, I believe his last name is, for Kansas. He's like their All-American, all-everything. But he's been Zion all year. He doesn't show up for games. He gets hurt or he comes up sick or he misses this. People are starting to really wonder about this guy.
That is weird.
Like, what's the matter? You know, you going to play or not? Apparently he's planning to play tonight, if that goes into your thinking. You're first. Houston -1.5.
I'm going to go Kansas at home.
KU. You know Master P is?
Yes.
The rapper?
Yeah.
His son plays for Houston.
Really?
He does, yeah. Miller, he's obviously his last name's Miller because Master P's last name is Miller. So look for Miller out there.
Okay.
Don't remember his first name. I'll take
Master?
Houston. No, not Master. I'll take Houston here, but I don't like it on the road. Pistons 1.5 over the Spurs. Pistons got the best record in the NBA. That's saying something because the Pistons have had the worst record in the NBA for a couple of years now, but turned it completely around. I would take the Pistons at home, only given 1.5.
I'll take them too.
Detroit. Cade Cunningham -3 against Wembayama in this very game.
Cade Cunningham is really good.
Yes, he is. So's Wembayama. But Wembayama's a freak.
He is a freak. I'm going to go Wemby.
I'm going Wemby +3. I'll take Cade. It's a tough night for picks. There's just not many games, honestly. That's why some of these are a little off the beaten path. Kevin Durant, 25.5 over/under against Utah. Has Utah stopped trying to lose games, or did any of the punishment
I haven't seen anything in the news lately.
Yeah, what happened to that story? It's kind of gone away.
Well, they fined him $500,000, and the team was like, maybe we should start playing.
Well, they didn't actually. They said, "Oh no, we haven't been doing anything wrong." And this guy, the coach was like, "He's on a minutes limit. I don't know what you're talking about. I had to take him out. Our doctors say he can only play so many minutes.
So then,
and you guys are giving me a hard time." But I guess the league didn't buy that because they fined him anyway.
Yeah, I don't buy it either.
I don't know what to think.
It's very strange when you're winning by a bunch or you're not winning by a bunch, but
and your guy scored 38 points and you take him out in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
that's pretty strange. But the coach said, no, he's on a minutes limit. I had to take him out.
I mean, it could be true.
It could be, but you know what? So many people lie about so much stuff now that even if you're honest out there, we almost believe you're lying.
I don't disagree.
You know what I mean?
I don't disagree. I have to second guess anything that I see in sports.
Lying is so prevalent now that it's just like, well, you're probably lying.
Well, and then you read quotes that are attributed to no one and they're fake, and then you fall for it, and it's just bad. Just bad news. But yeah, you're right. That's unfortunate observation, Chris.
Thank you. KD -25.5 after all is said and done. Houston is bad, but they might be so bad that he doesn't play the fourth quarter. I'll say under. KD.
I'll say over.
All right. And we got one women's game. Baylor, 18th ranked, 9.5 over Kansas State. Put this in because the Aztec women beat Kansas State earlier this year. But Kansas State is a bubble team, according to the bracketology. So they're decent, but Baylor's apparently better. Favored by 9.5 at Waco, Texas. You ever been there, Skraby?
No.
Me neither, and I don't want to go there.
I don't want to go either.
Sounds like a weird place, and it's probably not Waco's fault.
It's not Waco's fault.
But it's connected.
It's the whole
right?
FBI
That's
thing.
right.
Yeah.
It's connected. It's not Waco's fault at all, but
What
it
is
just
it?
seems
David
like a weird
Koresh,
place.
is that his name?
Yeah, that was his name. If you're out there from Waco, you're probably driving along and go, "That's a great place," but it really does have a bad image.
For some reason, because that happened around mid-90s.
Long time ago.
I was like
yeah.
10 years old, and
Yeah,
it stuck
sticks,
with me
though.
that
Yeah.
Waco is not a place I want to go.
Yeah, nobody wants to go to Waco. They need some PR help.
Oh, David went to Baylor, and he said it's really nice now.
That's what I'm saying. But it's got a bad, image.
It's pretty
That
hard to
hasn't
shake
changed.
that. It's pretty hard to shake that image.
But shouldn't they be able to shake it by now? That happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'll take Baylor after all of that.
After all of that, you're going to take Baylor.
9.5.
I'll take Baylor, too.
Baylor.
I'm going to give it, help Waco. Give a few good thoughts for Waco out there.
The other thing about Baylor is they have beaten the Aztecs in men's basketball so many times in a row, I can't even count. We can never beat that team. So,
for the people in the chat that are now defending Waco,
yeah, right. We weren't.
I mean, was
Waco.
it a point where no one wanted to go to Waco?
Yeah,
Because I'm assuming it was.
We're just stating what is true. That Waco still has a bad rap. That's all we're saying. Neither Skraby nor I has been there, so we can't rate it ourselves.
Both people are saying it's nice now.
Good. I'm glad to hear it, but spread the word so people know it's okay to go to Waco now.
Chris, we should go to the Waco Tourism Authority and get a sponsorship because we're really driving people there right now.
With all due respect, when I think of Waco, I think of Waco, and that's the problem that a lot of people seem to have.
David, who went there, said it's very much a college town now.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. I like a good college town.
Me too.
All right. Break time. Ziegler, speaking of college, we got to figure out the Aztecs if we can. That's next on Gwynn and Chris.
From the first pitch.
And what is before they try, what is the heat index they're facing? Do we know? Or
Well, you could look up the Scoville on a ghost pepper.
Yeah.
It's one of the world's hottest. There's a couple of hotters.
Scoville's the measurement unit.
The X pepper and all of that.
Thanks for the education because I did not know.
I've allowed milk and bread, but if I was asked,
tell us the actual rules of this. Like
the rule is,
see if you can do it. I guess
you guys alternate spoonfuls until one of you can't.
One of you can't do it anymore.
Yeah. That's not happening.
Until you can't do it anymore.
I will take
and
one.
The winner, Skraby, has a jar of a couple of my jars.
I think they both are winners if they pass this.
I hate to say. Yeah, of course.
There will be no back and forth. There will be one spoonful.
Now,
this is the one that he has right now.
The 38?
Maybe.
Okay. All right.
No, this right here, I've been putting on some of my turkey burgers.
Good stuff.
This is hot.
Okay.
All right, we doing it. Here we go.
All right. Let's
Adam's
do it.
ready. There, away he goes. He does have a full spoonful for those listening on that.
I'm literally sweating watching him do this right now. That's a full spoon.
All right. That is a full
down
spoon.
the hatch we go.
All right.
And man, he went the whole thing. He did not. He did not trickle that down the throat. He just
hasn't reached for the milk yet.
Skraby's coming over.
When does the heat kick in?
Oh,
I knew it.
When does the heat kick in? Wow.
You better go, dude.
There goes Skraby. Skraby, did you swwallow that, Skraby? Yeah.
That is some good stuff.
It's delicious.
Delicious.
We're gonna see it. I'm gonna watch you now.
I'm feeling it already. I am. Are you?
No.
He's feeling nothing. All right, so take another spoonful, Adam. You'll win.
Oh, come on. Now we're double dipping.
He's all
you
one
can't put your
spoonful.
same
That's
spoon
not
in
what the
there.
competition's all about.
We always said
Spoonful
that.
too?
Yeah, go for
Oh
it.
yeah.
I always said that Adam Klug was kind of had a.
I at least used a different spoon, no double dipping.
All right.
I didn't know where. I don't.
I
think
always
it
thought
matters.
Adam Klug had a cold persona, but evidently it's just the opposite.
All right.
Big
He
boss
is
Michael
handling
Bowles
this.
in the YouTube chat, by the way.
What you waiting on? You let laughing at drip in your hand.
Oh, okay.
Skraby, where are you? Let me see. I'm just looking at Adam, and Adam's not having any problem at all.
Look at you, Adam.
Adam is backed up.
But
this
I must tell you, Tony, that Adam has cashed the check.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he did.
cashed
You said
his
I wouldn't be
check.
able to cash
I
it.
did.
No, you
I
cashed
sure
it,
did.
man.
You proved
cashed
me
it
wrong,
for
my
sure.
friend. I
Skraby?
gotta tell you though, this is further proof that whatever we got him with that tie,
The tie thing,
was
yeah, 'cause
super weak.
this is less than a 10, right?
He's over here having a difficult time.
You're turning a little red,
The time
Skraby.
was just as bad.
You're turning a little red.
By the way, this is delicious.
Oh my God!
he's
He's
going
going
another
another one.
Yes.
Come on, Adam. Wow, you're gonna have to come back in 6 months with like an 88.
Oh,
38.
We'll have to go with the higher Scoville next time.
all right. Oh, wow. Look at this guy. He's talking trash now.
Well, he should
Had a
be.
sip of milk or bread.
He hasn't even reached for it.
No, he doesn't
came out
even
of the
need the
gates
bread.
talking trash.
All right.
All right, now
Hey,
I'm
man.
going to take another one.
What?
Well,
Why
you
are
got a
doing
whole
this
nother
to
spoon?
yourself?
No, because I don't want.
You don't want Adam to say
He,
he
by
has
the way,
wing sauce,
yeah, he
baby.
get the whole
Full spoon,
get the same
baby.
thing that like he's dropping it all in there.
Keep the studio clean.
It's all anybody's
Big
worried
boss
about.
Michael watching over here. Come on.
Ooh, boy. Scrabe, get back in front of the camera. Your face is red, Scrabe. Isn't it, Tony? Are you
I'm
seeing
sweating.
the same thing?
You are sweating. Your face is definitely.
Why do you keep doing this?
You're not feeling anything?
Adam hasn't even moved over
I
there.
feel a 1 or maybe a 2 out of 10 here.
Wow.
Adam
That's ridiculous
Klug.
because I'm.
Wow.
Adam Klug is a tough
Maybe
son
not
of a
bent
gun.
over the trash can.
No,
over
I had
there.
to spit.
I was going to say, it looks like Adam Klug may be producing the rest of the show because he's fine. Scraby may need
Scraby's
to
going
go
to
get
bed. Yeah, you know,
assistance.
Here's want the milk, dude. It might
Frank
work
predicted
better.
that.
No.
Oh, did he?
Frank
Scraby's having
predicted that.
bread.
Oh yeah, that Adam would just cruise through this with
Frank
no problem.
predicted this.
He did.
Frank on the last show.
I
said
know you
Adam
had
would
it
have
like
no
that.
problem.
He did.
I got a newfound respect from Tony Gwynn Jr.
Yes,
over here.
you do.
So-
all right.
So Skraby has the prizes for you, Adam. You have won a jar of the Ghost.
All right, soon Mark Ziegler will be joining us on the SDCCU fan hotline. It's not big bank banking, it's better. Aztec basketball team, I thought they were getting better. Mark Ziegler brought up something interesting in his article today, though. They played better when Guath and LZ Harrington were out. Why? Because they only used 9 guys. Now they're back and they're stuck using 11 again. Just isn't working.
I mean, that's something we've been talking about all season, trying to get everybody to fit.
And Mark agreed with us, but he just said at the time, like Dutcher, they don't know how to do it because everybody deserves to play.
I mean, it's kind of a good problem, but not.
I'm going to read you a quote in Ziegler's story today, and we'll talk about it when he comes on here. Brian Dutcher, talking about having 11 guys, said this is where the depth hurts us. You might think you're playing well, but you might run into a night where you only get to play 6 or 7 minutes, and then you're frustrated by that and all of that. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, my answer to that is if it happens multiple games in a row, then maybe talk to the coaches. But if it happens, sparingly here and there, get over it.
The bottom line, and again, Mark will, I think he'll confirm or deny some of this, but the bottom line is college basketball now is set up. Not just the Aztecs. This is everywhere. College basketball is set up for the individual players to go out and perform
It's true.
for themselves now.
Yeah.
So they can get the most money, the most NIL, the most people that want them to transfer to another school. And the role player, which is needed to win, isn't there because those players are contributing to a team that doesn't need them. It's weird.
That is a good point.
Love it, but it's just
you're always trying to set yourself up for what's next.
Yes, that's right.
You're not in the moment these days,
especially now because this is the portal opens in about a month.
It does, yeah.
You want to get picked up, you better play well now. The coach says, "Hey, we're going to use you as a decoy tonight so we can win the game." That's not what you want to hear as a player. You didn't even hear the part about winning the game. You just heard the part about you being a decoy.
Yeah, well, when they ask me, when the team's asking me when they're recruiting me, why didn't you play in this game? I said, I'm so good, coach made me a decoy.
There, you're going to try that, huh?
Yep. I get it. I mean, it's
a weird conundrum,
you
man.
still need teamwork, even in an individual sport. That basketball is not really an individual sport, but it can be.
Incredibly a team sport. I don't know how these coaches are getting these teams to play together. Maybe they're just not.
All right, I'm going to call Mark because traffic
Mark will join us in
a
a
little
second.
bit longer.
All right, we're
so
waiting
give me
for
a
some
second.
traffic as well. Aztecs next up. Here's the crazy thing. The Aztecs season is unraveling, but next game is Utah State Wednesday night. If they win, they're tied for first again. So as crazy as it seems,
That is wild.
they win that game, they'll be tied for first place.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's a wacky year. And I mean, I've been following this team as close as anybody now for 20 years. And I know Mark has too. And you just don't see stories like this about the Aztec basketball program. The secret sauce has been getting kids who come here and buy into the team dynamic. But that's not happening now. And I don't think it's anybody's fault other than the way the landscape of college basketball is.
Just want to say before we bring Mark on, he is a very busy man today, and we appreciate his time. Very much.
Very well. We always appreciate. He knows, but thank you so much, buddy. Your story today just caught me. I got to be honest with you, a little by surprise. I mean, I've been watching. You've been covering for 2 decades. This kind of stuff has never really come up around the Aztec basketball program. It seems like we've only had teams that were greater than the sum of their parts, but this year it's the opposite, it seems, Mark.
Yeah, it's just this whole new world of college basketball. And, we were talking with Stacey Terry today, and I asked her the same thing. And I said, what's going on right now in terms of your team and next year, and talking to players about coming back? Do you talk to them now? Do you wait? But if you wait, if you talk to them now, it's a distraction. If you wait till after the season, maybe it's too late and they've already decided to go elsewhere. And she said, basically, there's no playbook for this. I don't know. We're trying to figure it out as we go along. And San Diego State has never had this issue. A lot of fans of a lot of programs have been through this in New Mexico, big fan base. They went through it last year. I mean, entire new roster, entire new coaching staff. And that's just the reality of college sports. And again, San Diego State hasn't gone through it, but I think they're about to. We'll see. You never know until it's done. But I think you're going to see a lot of guys in the transfer portal, and then who knows where it goes from there.
Yeah, Mark Ziegler's with us. Aztecs, did not look good at all Saturday. It was really interesting because as I'm watching the game, I thought this is really not defense that I'm used to seeing. And then you kind of went through the analytics in the article and said that was the worst defense they'd played in 8 years. And, because it was pretty obvious, man, guys were wide open, et cetera. But defense is more of a team thing, Mark. And it seemed like Reese Waters kind of touched on a little bit, just said at practice, we're just not getting it together right now.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I think people need to understand it's not just San Diego State. It's easy because this is the team people follow. Yeah. Look, I was doing my top 25 ballot last night, and I'm looking through it and I'm going, God, a lot of teams lost. 16 of the 25 lost, and a lot of them lost to unranked teams. And then you just look at, closer to home, the Mountain West. Well, first place, Utah State, they lost. Second place, San Diego State, lost. Fourth place, Grand Canyon, lost. All lost to teams that they had no business really losing to, that they beat early in the season.
Right.
That, maybe should have handled. And I think it's more of a national thing. And this is what happens at this time of year, because the season's ending in, there's 3 or 4 more regular season games, and then there's a conference tournament. Some teams will advance into the NCAA tournament. Some will have their seasons end, and players are starting to think about next year. And it's just really hard at this age, for this age group of players, to be able to process that. In European basketball, it's like this every year. You get a 1-year contract. You're playing Romania this year. You might be in Greece next year. You might be in Denmark the year after. You're used to it. You're a pro. You don't let it affect how you play. But these are 19, 20-year-old kids, never been through it. And I think it's affecting how they play.
Talking to Mark Ziegler of the San Diego Union Tribune here on 97.3 The Fan, and reading your 3 Things article, you talk about Magoon Guath. And when he came back to the school, we all celebrated because it was amazing. We thought he was gone. It was a present under the tree. Can we boil his year down basically to injury, and that's why he's performed like he is? And do you think that he has done enough to get a better deal somewhere else in this country?
Well, to answer your second part of the question first, I think he will, because some of these schools have unlimited budgets. I mean, there's one coach, I'm not going to say which one, of a very highly ranked team right now, who, when asked, "What's your budget?" said, "I don't have one." And
that's
school like
hear,
that can offer him, a school like that can offer him $1 million and just take a flyer on him. And San Diego State, I don't know what they paid him. I'm assuming it's the high six figures. They can make that kind of offer and pay him, but if he doesn't pan out, then it hurts your team. And so I think that's where you'll end up seeing him in a situation where maybe they don't have to rely on him, and they can hope to get something out of him rather than need to get something out of him. And to answer the first part of your question, to me, the biggest thing that's been, I think, the most frustrating thing for him is, if you look at the two games we came back after a layoff, so after the big long layoff, the first game he played, he had 20 points, 3 of 3 from 3 or 4 blocks. Really good game. That was in the loss against Troy. And then every game after that, he would get more and more injured, more and more banged up, and just less and less effective. So then they shut him down for a month. He comes back, and he has 13 points in 14 minutes, 3 of 3 from 3, and 5 blocks. And what happens the next two games? He just goes downhill again because his body betrays him. And I think that's just super frustrating for everybody to see. And I don't know if there's any way out of that.
Yeah. When I watched that Nevada game, and you probably said the same and wrote the same, Mark, it's like, okay, we're back. Here we go. We're making our usual February push. But, man, that has not worked out. Mark Ziegler is with us, talking some Aztec hoops here. What are the kids? What would they do? What would you do, Mark, if you had a son in, college in this kind of situation? You want to be a great team guy, but they come to your son before the biggest game of the year and they say, "We need to use you as a decoy to win this game today." Well, you need to score 20 points so you can get, the best deal. I mean, this is such a conundrum for coaches and players and everybody.
And it works at all different levels. Yeah, you don't play well one game, you blame it on the coach, or you think about leaving, and that stuff's in your ear, in your head. And again, these aren't seasoned 28-year-old grizzled pros who can just put that out of their mind and deal with it later. It's going to seep in, and you're going to see lack of effort or just teams checking in and checking out. I mean, what I saw in these last two games, if we're going to generalize, is I just saw a team that wasn't fully focused and didn't put up a ton of resistance. And I don't think it's because they don't want to. I mean, these kids want to win, and they're locked into the program and they're invested. But it just, when you're distracted, it's hard. And I think that there's probably other parts to it as well. You're allowed to have some bad games. Everybody does. But I think this is part of it.
Talking to Mark Ziegler here, 97.3 The Fan. And the last part of your San Diego Union Tribune article, you were talking about USD. Steve Lavin was fired last week by USD, but you're saying that the athletic director has been thinking about this for a pretty long time, and that there's indications the program's finances could increase significantly. Is that kind of unfair to Steve Lavin to say, "Hey, we're going to fire you, but now we're going to put more money into the team"?
Well, maybe on a certain level, but I think they did give him some finances this year. They didn't leave him hanging out to dry. They gave him more NIL than they ever had, and I think they're going to go up a notch from that. So he had some resources to work with. The problem, and every team's going to face this, when you have to rebuild your roster every year and you've got guys basically on 1-year contracts, it's, can you put it together into one season? And some guys can, some guys can't. It didn't happen to Kansas State. We saw what happened to the coach there. It didn't happen to USD. Saw what happened to the coach there. But look what's happening in New Mexico. It worked out. Eric Olin could be in line for a power conference job at the end of the season, even after just 1 year at New Mexico. So that's just kind of the way it goes. But the thing about USD, I think it makes it a really attractive job, and I wrote a little bit about this, is I think if you're a basketball program right now, you almost don't want to be at a big public state institution, because those things they're so far in the red, not just San Diego State, but all of them. And
there's somebody to keep an eye on all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can go get open records, and the academic senate can look at budgets and say, wait a minute, we just cut our chemistry department. Why Why are we losing $25 million a year in athletics? And then you have football that you got to keep dumping money into. Whereas if you're at a, one of these WCC schools, and you're, look at Santa Clara. Santa Clara is in line to get into the tournament this year. They have a G League pro on their team. Now, he didn't come for free. They have some financial resources, and they have a really good coach in Herb Sendek. You put those two things together, it doesn't matter all the other stuff. It doesn't matter if you have a practice facility, if you have a good fan base, if you have a big NCAA tournament history, you put guys in, history of putting guys in the NBA, which they actually have. So they have that going. But none of that stuff really matters if you have money. And so a school like USD can get good really fast. If you get a good coach and you throw $3 or $4 million, and I don't know if they'll be able to do that. But if they do, and they get a decent coach, and he restocks the roster, I mean, they're going to be good in a year overnight. And that's how college about, in the past, it would take 4, 5, 6 years to build the culture, get some young guys, build them up. And you don't have to do that anymore.
All right, Mark, I'm going to leave this last one here. It might be a little bit of a, tough one, but I'm curious your thoughts. The whole Mick Cronin thing last week. Now, we went through it forever on this show. Was he right? Was he wrong? Is he, should he be easier on his kids? Are the kids too soft? Blah, 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 blah. But the one thing that I kept coming back to, and Tony and Skraby kept coming back to, is the players are now being paid by Mick Cronin, to perform, number one. Number two, if UCLA doesn't win, it's Mick Cronin's job too. Like, he's going to lose it if he's given, the resources and doesn't produce with it. So is his reaction a reaction to the way it is now, or is his reaction just kind of out of line, or both?
Well, the thing you have to understand about Mick Cronin is the absolute worst place for Mick Cronin in this entire world is in a news conference 10 minutes after he loses a game. That is a bad place for him to be. And this is not his first rodeo with questionable comments, controversial comments. I mean, I watch every single one of his press conferences because they post them on YouTube. I watch every single one after he loses. I usually don't watch him when he wins, but when he loses, I watch because I don't know what he's going to say, and nor does anybody else. And so you have to understand that's who Mick Cronin is. So you have to put a little bit of an asterisk next to it. But in terms of how he coaches his kids, look, they're getting paid very well. Donovan Dent's getting $3 million. If you're going to accept that $3 million and you know that he's your coach and you know how he coaches, that's on you. And if you don't want to be coached that way, then don't take the $3 million. I mean, these are professional athletes now.
Yeah.
And there has to be some accountability for the athletes as well. And this is one of the things that, all programs, San Diego State included, like, look, some guys are going to leave, and some of them are going to leave by their own volition, but some guys are going to leave because they realize they don't fit their system, they don't fit their coaching style, and they're going to push them out. So I think there's a little bit of that going on. I give him a little bit of a pass.
Give Mick a little pass, but it is coming off the heels of what happened to the Kansas State coach. It's coming on the heels of what we saw from the Texas women's coach and the Tennessee women's coach. I mean, coaches just coming out and basically saying their players are terrible. And I just had not seen that kind of stuff before, unless you give it a Bobby Knight crazy thing. But, this is now becoming almost commonplace. And I think the coaches are feeling some of the stress too.
Sure. And in the past, the guardrail was always, but they're college kids. I even find that, in writing stories in the past, would you really rip a kid if he was one of 13? Would you really point it out?
Yeah, right. He's a kid.
You kind of err on that. They're just college kids and, they're not getting paid. Well, they're getting paid now. And so now it's kind of like the thinking is, maybe we should call them out a little bit more. Fans are, because fans are paying. I mean, at San Diego State, it's not like some big whale who's paying these salaries. It's fans who are paying it. And, the fans give them a little bit more right to rip on a player. And so it's not a very healthy system all regards. But this is a byproduct of it, 100%.
Yeah. No, it's not a healthy system, but it's not changing that we know of anytime soon. Mark, you're the man. So cool. I appreciate it. This was a good conversation. And we'll see you in a few days or somewhere down the road soon. Thanks.
All right, my pleasure. I'll talk to you guys.
Yep, Mark Ziegler, right there, UT. I mean, I like talking to Mark about that stuff because it's bigger than just the Aztecs are going to win, they're going to lose. There's bigger things happening in college sports right now, in basketball, and that's just what's happening right now.
College sports has been ruined by itself.
Yeah.
It has been ruined by itself.
Used to be so well, we kind of thought maybe kids were taking a little money under the table.
I was fine with that.
But we were able to kind of leave it over there and believe that they were doing it for the love of the sport.
Let me take that back. I'm not fine with it.
No, I know what you mean. but now it's not for the love of the sport. But again, and you sit there and I sit there and we say, well, these kids, what's the matter with them? They ought to understand what's important. Okay.
You dangle $1 million in front of me.
But you dangle $1 million in front of a kid and say, why don't you go to this school for $1 million or stay where you are for 50,000?
Especially if you're a kid who doesn't have NBA prospects, you're like, hey, I can make a couple $1 million in college. I'm going to go do it. I don't care where I go.
You almost have to tell the kid on your own team to go take that $1 million. You almost have to tell them that.
Yeah, because if you can't sit there. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night knowing I took $1 million away from a kid.
Yeah, please stay here. I'll give you 50,000, and you get to play a lot. Well, that's not going to pay the bills.
Cool.
It's a weird. It's an unhealthy situation.
Yes, it's very unhealthy.
I'm going to go with that. More Gwynn and Chris coming. Tony should be around soon. Stick around. More Gwynn and Chris. 4 o'clock, Gwynn and Chris getting into the second half of action. I really recommend if you came in the middle or you just, happen to miss our interview with Ziegler there. The questions were mediocre. The answers were really informative and tell you a lot about what's going on, in the world of college basketball right now. And it's an unhealthy situation. And for the first time, and Mark wrote about it in a story today if you want to look at it online, but for the first time, that unhealthy situation is affecting this Aztec team. Because we've always been the one school that's kind of, the other teams get affected by this. We just kind of show up and do our thing and, win our games and championships and all that. Not the case this year.
I mean, Dutcher can't just be like, oh, I'm going to recruit 7 guys and have like 3 guys that aren't that great on the end of the bench.
You also have to have talent, right? Yeah, you can't just – plus every kid wants something now because it's available.
I'm a really good freshman. Come to my school. You're going to sit on the bench for most – okay, I'm out. I can go find somewhere else. I can go
somewhere and play and get paid for it.
Yeah.
It's not easy. I don't know how because he threw in there that he asked Stacey Terry Hudson about it on the women's side, and she said it's all, there's no blueprint for what to do. But I mean, having been around this team on the women's side all year, somehow, really, she's done an amazing job and their staff of getting these kids to buy in and play as one. It's why they're 16-1, Skrabe. They're not that much more talented than these other teams. They're just playing to win and not for themselves. And that's so hard now.
When
you wouldn't think so, but that's hard to do now.
No, it totally is.
Yeah.
And when you bring some of the women's team in here, you could tell that they're really close.
Right. It's kind of refreshing.
Bailey and Kaylin, they live together or something.
It's refreshing. It is, but don't forget Veronica Sheffy was our MVP player last year, and you wouldn't have found a nicer kid, but she left because TCU gave her a ton of money. Couldn't tell her not to.
How's it going right now?
Well, they're having a good season, but she doesn't play nearly as much as if she had stayed here. But she's got the money she needed to get. Can't blame her. All right, let's do we have any contestants? What are you people doing out there?
We have 2.
Let's go.
I think people are still boycotting me over my rules last week.
Skraby wouldn't let anybody call in last week.
I didn't.
But it's time for a game of Chris versus the Fan. Chance to win the weekly grand prize, which is a pair of tickets to
qualification for a pair of tickets.
Qualified. You're right.
Scared me.
I missed the word qualified. Guns N' Roses Snapdragon Stadium, September 2nd. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Or you can be in the hunt to win one by calling in to 833-288-0973 and playing Chris versus the Fan.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
howdy do.
Now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for.
Chris versus the Fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, Chris, they have Kyle Tucker on TV right now. When they asked him, oh, Tony's here. Never mind. I was going to make a bad joke, but now Tony's here, so I'll not make that bad joke.
Why? He'd like to hear a bad joke, I bet.
Maybe he's not actually here, but I put him up for a second. Tony, are you there? Okay.
He's getting connected.
Sorry. You talk for a second. I got to text him back.
All right. Tony is obviously back in the hotel after the Padre game, and he'll be joining us shortly.
Okay.
We're going to play Chris versus the Fans. Don't forget, at 5:30, Biggest Fan. Listen for your name there. But right now, time to play some trivia.
Yes. All right. What I was going to say about Kyle Tucker is they asked him, was it a hard decision to choose the Dodgers?
Oh, I love that question for him.
Oh, yeah. Really the hard
He says it every
decision.
time.
So hard.
I stayed up for hours and nights and days.
I stayed up for seconds thinking about this.
Did I really want the $88 billion because if I hadn't taken that, I would have got 86 billion.
Yeah, right. Okay. You have to make it. Here are the rules. You have to make it through 3 questions. Each question will get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get it wrong and Chris gets it right, you're eliminated. But if Chris gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question or you win. If you're a first-time player, let us know before you get into it. You'll get that question for free today. Let's go to your namesake, Chris in San Diego. Hello, Chris.
Hey, afternoon, guys.
Hi, Chris.
Afternoon. You ready to play?
Yes, sir.
Here we go. We were just talking about it. What city is Baylor University located in?
Let's go with Waco.
Waco. I hear it's very nice, Chris, from the chat.
Everybody says it's nice, so let's try to build up Waco a little bit.
And when you go to Waco on your vacation, say that Gwynn and Chris sent you.
I was in Texas the one time down at University of Texas or somewhere, I driving around somewhere, and I saw a sign for Waco, and I was like, nah, don't want to go. Yeah, I was like all freaked out. It's got a bad rap.
Is there... maybe we should stop saying that if we're trying to reappear its image.
All right.
But is there like a museum someone tell me, is there like a museum for Waco out there about everything that happened with the FBI and David Koresh? Because I would like to go to that if there is a museum or something.
Okay.
Okay. Chris, question number 2.
Sorry, poor Chris has to put up with all this extra malarkey here.
Who is the new Orioles manager?
I have no idea. I'm sure Chris knows, though.
I don't know.
Don't be so sure, but you got bad luck.
Oh, how do you know this?
Did you ask this question today, or did you already have it?
No, I just wrote this one today.
Why? Because he was on TV like 15 minutes ago.
Oh, no. Oh, I did not see that.
Yeah, Craig Albanese.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. They just put him up like 15 minutes ago. I thought that might have been.
Sorry, Chris.
Because allow me to say, sorry to you, Chris, indeed, 20 minutes ago, I would not have got that answer right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, had no idea.
I didn't even know he was on TV, or I
didn't even know who he is. Like, I just know his name because I just saw him up there. What did he do before?
He was he's been a coach for a while.
Right.
Brandon, by the way, says Kyle Tucker, quote, "I deferred my sleep by staying awake thinking about this decision." That's a good one.
Very good.
All right, we go back to the top of the board. Let's go to Juan in Oceanside. Hello, Juan.
Hello.
Hey, Juan.
You ready to play?
He's ready. Juan's always ready.
Ready.
Right, I know this guy.
Let's see here. The Padres play their spring training in Arizona. Where is the other major spring training location? What state?
What state?
In Florida.
Florida's right.
Florida.
What fruit do they use down there? The
citrus.
The Grapefruit League.
I thought it was this.
No, we're the Cactus League. Yeah, the Grapefruit.
Is it the Grapefruit League?
It is, yeah.
Oh, there's a Citrus Bowl.
You confused me by that. Yeah, it is a Grapefruit League.
Tony said that's not he doesn't like the Florida spring training because all the places are so far apart.
I believe they do bus rides too, and you're right. They're
in Arizona, it's easy. You can go no more than an hour or so. All right,
and when you have to go an hour, that means you only go 8 miles because it's
true.
Phoenix.
My goodness, leaving that place every time we do. I just plan for an hour and a half of traffic.
I hate that traffic.
I hate that traffic too.
Craig Albanese was a coach with the Orioles last year. I'm trying to find out a little about this guy while we're going along.
All right. What city is this year's WBC championship game going to be played in?
Miami.
Miami.
He got it.
Which is very annoying because we all know that Petco Park is the place for that game.
Are there any games in Petco? No.
I don't think so.
Not this time, right?
I don't think so. All right, third and final question, Juan. If you get this right or Chris gets it wrong, you are qualified for these Guns N' Roses tickets. Let's see here. Oh, Chris is going to hate this one. Which major league team had the first overall pick in last year's amateur draft?
I'm not sure. I'll pass it on to Chris.
Way one.
No
Good
pass.
thinking. Get your buzzer.
I just did.
Who was the number one pick? You'd think I'd remember. But I don't pay attention to the draft. Why didn't the Rockies get it? They had the worst record in baseball history.
They have the lottery, right?
Yeah, they do. Say White Sox. I don't know. Damn!
Wow, you win.
Juan's a winner. That was it.
Job.
That was
That's it. That's the third question.
Okay. Way to go, Juan.
All right, stay right there.
I don't remember.
Answer.
Who was it?
Nationals.
Again?
I guess.
They've had it like 30 times.
Well, they're a pretty bad teams. So.
I know, but they had Strasburg. They got Bryce Harper.
No. Oh, yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did.
Well, did they?
Back-to-back years they got those guys.
Juan Soto wouldn't have been an amateur draft pick. He would have been an international signing, I believe.
Who was the number one pick last year? That would be a 4-point question.
Number one pick 2025 MLB draft, because I don't remember.
Asking me, you're barking up the wrong tree. You know me.
All right, here we go. 2025 Major League Draft. Where did it? Eli Willits, a shortstop from Oklahoma. Sure.
Sure.
Who did I can't remember who the Padres picked. Oh, Cruz Schoolcraft. That makes sense. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I will never be good on the draft.
Baseball draft is very tough.
They're all tough, as far as I'm concerned.
Baseball draft is even more tough.
All right. Tony Gwynn Jr. should be joining the show here. I believe he's close to dialing in and getting hooked up from the Peoria Palace. In the meantime, more Gwynn and Chris is coming up.
Hold on. I'm trying to get your attention. We are having a malfunction with the traffic right now, so we will not have traffic until that is fixed.
You want me to just do kind of a phony traffic?
No.
I can try it.
Okay, go ahead.
There's a little bottleneck at the 5805 merge. You go out. 8 East is getting a little crowded now, heading out toward El Cajon.
If you're sitting on the 52 parking lot.
If you're on, 52 parking lot, you're going south down to Chula Vista. It's going to take you an extra minute or two. Drive safe.
That was more fun than I
And
thought.
you know what? If somebody wants to cut you off, like when you're in traffic and somebody wants to move over, first of all, when you're in traffic, stop moving over. That slows it down. Right? Stop moving over one lane for no reason. But if you must, let the people in. You're only going to be one car later to where you're going.
That is true.
Right?
That is true.
We're so competitive that we don't want to let anybody in.
Chris is the guy who struggles with getting in. That's
right. I get my blinker on forever, and people are like, nope.
I am too aggressive
Not
of a
letting you
driver.
in.
I will tell you, I'm too aggressive of a driver.
It's okay to be aggressive a little, like don't mind, but understand that if somebody gets in front of you, instead of being where you're going at 4:06 and 1 second, you might be there at 4:06 and 0 seconds. So it's not that big of a deal.
I do agree.
Don't get that crazy about it.
Speeding, I'm not cutting people off or anything. I'm not driving recklessly, but if someone wants to get over and I need to get into the exit, you aren't getting over, sir.
Apparently not.
I planned ahead. You did not.
Yeah, you're a meanie.
I am.
You're a meanie. All right, that's the traffic brought to you by Bill House Studios. We know how. I don't know who's booing us traffic, but yeah, so actually, it's brought to me. It's brought to you by Sam Levitt. He's paying for me.
Oh, there you go.
Back with more Gwynn and Chris. Gonna go.
I feel like Jesse's been ready for this season.
Of course, yeah. I'm not surprised. Tony Gwynn Jr. is now with us from Peoria. You know,
Hello, gentlemen.
We were thinking about you there in the bottom of the 8th inning when the Padres are putting together just what you wanted, Tony. A 6-run rally there to take about 25 minutes. Extend the game a little bit, but hey, they won, so that's something, I guess.
They won.
Yeah.
It's that spring training win. You take them as they come.
Take them as they come. I don't know, it wasn't Pat Murphy. We were watching the game on the MLB Network. By the way, now you guys are just on TV on the MLB Network along with your call. I'm sure you're aware of all this, but you guys are getting a lot of coverage, which is fun.
Can you tell Dave to stop over modulating you guys when you call
Dave,
certain plays? Tell Dave I sensed a little over modulation.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's what happens when it's it's not real TV.
That is true. I told Chris.
It's like
leave it alone.
It's a web game that MLB
it's a web game that they're
up.
putting on a TV. Yeah, right on this.
And so listen, this is something that has crossed my mind. The expectations will be, because it's on the TV screen, that it's going to be like TV. But I mean, listen, we can work with like 3 cameras. It's a whole different thing. It's a whole different thing. But anyway, either way, you get to watch some Padre baseball for sure.
Yes, we did, and they did end up winning the game. But so when the balk was called, did the manager? I guess it wasn't the manager, but whoever the pitching coach did, was he going to argue with? Was he going to argue with the umpires for a second? And I thought, going to really argue here in the spring training game? But then he ended up just talking to his pitcher, right? It wasn't anything further. I
think he just wanted some clarification.
Okay, yeah.
On what exactly was the balk call?
Right. Yeah. Okay.
What happened? And so I don't know if he was satisfied from that standpoint.
He didn't look satisfied to me.
No, he did.
No, and then our other moment of the day, Tony, we've been dying on this. I tried to send you a text, but I ended up getting sidetracked. Why was the Padre pitcher in the 7th inning getting a manicure on the mound? What was going on there? I've seen a lot of stuff, but a guy clipping his nails, and then the gal there was actually filing them down.
My guess is that those first couple pitches, he must have cut himself, or felt like he was getting ready to cut himself, and so didn't waste no time. Come on out here, I need to file these down a little bit.
I got to hand it to the young lady, I guess the assistant trainer, whoever came out. I mean, she had all the stuff. She was ready to go.
Yeah.
She was
ready.
She had a bag
she
ready.
Knew exactly she knew exactly what
and there she's out there giving
for.
a little file. I thought if he takes his shoes off and goes for a pedicure, now we've gone too far. All right, so here's the other question, Tony. I mean, JP Sears today, and you watched the outing. I didn't see it. 2/3 of an inning, 4 runs. Obviously, on the surface, doesn't look like the greatest thing, but it's spring training. Maybe he's working on something. Maybe this, that, and the other. How much he's also though facing 7 other guys. So I would think that that's probably not what he had in mind today.
No.
I think he woke up and he was like, I'm going to give up 4 runs today.
Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think I don't think JP really wanted that to go down. Yeah, I have a sneaky suspicion. Yeah. I just think, he was it's not out of the ordinary. He was rusty. I mean, we've seen a lot of that here in the early. I mean, with the exception of like Vasquez, who threw the ball really well. There's been more of these type of outings than the crispy 1, 2, 3 outings, right? I mean, it's been pretty consistent outside of a few guys that threw the ball, pretty well.
How's what?
Are you guys still there?
Yeah, we're still there. I looked at Chris and he just was like staring straight forward.
I thought Skraby was going to duck in with something there.
Oh, my bad.
And our guy, Mr. Miranda, didn't 0 for 1 today too, but
yes,
what a good start for him. Good start for him though. The other
listen, there's a couple of the kind of extra battle, right? Extra guy battle.
Yes, he would be in it.
You've had some good starts. Miranda is in that mix. I think Samad Taylor is off to a terrific start. And listen, I think he's pretty versatile. I mean, I know Bryce has been the guy, but you watch that kind of positioning there. If he can continue to swing it like this, we might have ourselves a battle there.
Yeah, the competition is, the competition is greater and greater though, and not just in Padre camp. I mean, guys are former big league players. Are finding jobs or trying to find jobs. They're coming in as, minor league signings. I mean, Hoskins today went to Cleveland to see if he can do something. And, many others, Bueller here. But there's a lot of young guys that are coming up too, Tony. I mean, it used to be, I don't know, feel like there was 4 or 5 guys competing here and there. Now it feels like more than a dozen guys are competing. And I just think it's hard for these teams.
What, the young guys?
The young guys plus the guys that have been signed, plus the Mirandas and the people that have been in the big leagues before that are trying to get back. And they're going against the younger guys that are working up from AAA and a couple of AA kids and another free agent signing. I mean, there's a lot of people. And I just like Craig Stamon and his staff, they have to go back after all these games and practices and try to figure all this out. It's not easy anymore.
No, it's not. But I mean, that's why you got a good staff. Listen, I think there's no doubt there's going to be some tough decisions that are going to have to be made at some point. But they do a good job making them ultimately. And so we'll just have to kind of wait and see. I think there's going to be it's going to be an intriguing spring training because of all of the different competitions, right? I mean, Walker Bueller in that mix, Griffin Cannon is in that mix. I mean, you got so many different arms in the pitching realm.
Okay.
You got the first base. You got the first base race. You got the extra guy race. I mean, there's a lot of different things going on.
Skraby wants to know one more thing before we go to break. Does every player who plays against the Padres as a former teammate have to hit a home run?
Brandon Lockridge did today. It just seems like
it does
guys that
seem
used
like
to
it
be on the
happens a
Padres
lot.
always hit a home run. Always.
Right? Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know if that's a. I think
you think he's got a burning fire inside of him
it might
against
be a
the
Fugazi.
Padres?
There's no question it might be a Fugazi, but it sure seems like every time we let a guy go, they turn into the slugger. And
let's be easy. We talk about spring training right now. Like, is it like
I know what
Brandon
it is.
Brandon Lockridge also had a brilliant spring training last year as well.
He did
with us.
And our listeners overreact, Tony. So we have to be on top of it. They're going to look at Brandon Lockridge and they're going to see tomorrow in the paper, oh, that was his second spring home run already. He's leading the Cactus League. Why did we get rid of this guy, Chris?
Who did we get in return?
I'll get a tweet, so I got to be ready.
We didn't even get anybody in return. I don't remember.
I don't know.
I have no idea. Oh, was it the Nestor Cortez trade?
Don't know which one it was.
Okay.
By the way,
I think it was the Nestor Cortez trade.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to write me in a complaint about Brandon Lockridge, make sure you throw in there that we also let, Mateo, the old shortstop, go, and he had a grand slam today. When did we let him go? Like 4 years ago.
Yes, it was a while.
People will remember that too. More Gwynn and Chris. Tony's in Peoria, and we got more to come in a Big Five, I believe, is coming up here for our enjoyment. All right, so here's what happened. I was at the corner, and I'm going to call out the streets because who cares? It was Claremont Mesa Drive and Ruffin Road, which is pretty close to our radio station here.
Yeah.
I had to run over and pick up a little cash from the bank. That was simple, trip before I came into work. And I'm on Ruffin Road, coming up to Claremont Mesa Boulevard.
Ruffin Road can be a little rough sometimes.
They could pave that. It wouldn't hurt. Yeah, it wouldn't hurt if they can't call it paved road. I know that.
Wait, your issue isn't the potholes in the road?
I'm used to that. So we come up on Claremont Mesa, and we're at the stoplight. I'm in the left-hand turn lane to turn left on Claremont Mesa. I'm the third car back. And there's 2 left turn lanes. There's 3 cars in line here. And then the going straight is also red. And that is backed up each of the lanes. So that I've got cars on my right. I've got cars on my left. I got 2 in front of me. I got people behind me. No big deal. Light cycles through. And our turn doesn't come.
Oh, no.
So the cross traffic gets to go again. And then the people coming across in our direction, they get to go again. And then for a second time, they skip our turn. Well, that's what I thought. So now...
Actually, you're not going anywhere. You're stuck.
Right, you're stuck.
You're not going anywhere.
And my first thought, of course, as a good scout or, athlete, is to look around. Is there any way out? Can I back up? Can I, I'll do anything. But there is nowhere for me to go.
No.
It happens a third time.
Whoa.
And I'm pretty clear at this point, this light's broken. And I'm starting to think, how are we going to get out of this? Am I going to have to call, the police to come and fix it? No one's going to know it's broken.
911 emergency response.
Yeah.
Emergency. Ruffin Road in Claremont. The light is stuck.
And so this is 5 minutes probably, but you can imagine 5 minutes.
No,
that's a long time, right?
Time.
Well, when it comes to the 4th time, I finally start just leaning on my horn.
Oh.
I'm trying to get...
What are the people in front of you going to do?
Well, because there was a moment, right, after the traffic comes this way, it paused.
You want them to run the light.
You could at least a couple people could run the light. We could get this going here.
You want them to run the light.
I did.
Break the law.
Well, they had to. Otherwise, we'd still be there. Anyway, so this is going on. So I'm starting leaning on my horn. The lady next to me looks at me like, what the hell are you doing?
Good for her. Good for her.
And good for her.
Kidding.
I'm like, ma'am,
kidding.
Are you just clueless? Were you going to sit here the rest of your life?
She has faith that the light's going to turn eventually.
Evidently so. If it had gone again, the guy next to me on this side rolled down his passenger window. That starts to go down. I think he's going to be mad. And he's like, what? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure the light's broken. Like, how do you not know this? We've all been sitting here for 6-7 minutes now. The 2 cars at the very front of the left turn lane are not budging. So they apparently are content to sit there for as long as it need be.
They also have faith that the light is going to turn.
But I have no faith.
What gives them that faith?
Yeah, but what gave them the faith? I mean, it had cycled through 4 times now. The 5th time, I was going to just have to get out of my car and walk up to that and go, will you please do something? Or get, and if you don't, and I would have,
something.
You know what I would have said? If you don't want to run the light, just get out of my way so I can run the light. I'm not sitting here the rest of the day.
And finally, on the fifth time, the first two people ran the light, and the next person was able to get you know what I mean? And after a couple more cycles through, I got out of there. But I don't know
Did
if
the
you're
light ever start working?
I don't know. If you're at Claremont Mason Ruffin Road, you might still be there. I don't know. This was 45 minutes ago or so.
Wow.
So my question to you is, how differently would you have handled this than I did? And I'll start with you, Tony. Would there have been any difference, or do you know?
I don't know if I would have laid on my horn.
You would have just never laid on it.
I think I might have maybe rolled down the window, see if I could talk to somebody, see what else.
See if anybody else was in on it?
I don't think I would have laid on my horn because, listen, what you're asking is for them to, which may not be easy for everybody, and that is the timing between when because they're waiting for their light to turn.
Yes,
right?
they were waiting for
the light's not going to turn. But that also then requires them to guess the exact kind of when the timing of when they can go. And
yeah, well, you know what? Figure it out.
I think a lot of people wouldn't be comfortable with
Tony Gwynn Jr., Peoria Palace. Padres over the Brew Crew 7-5 today at Peoria. It's home game today. Tomorrow, Tony gets to travel to wherever it is the Cubs play these days.
Mesa,
Arizona, which means by my way of thinking, game will be over about 3 o'clock. Tony may barely make the last 5 minutes of the show.
Yes.
Because it'll be like a 3-hour ride to get where, with traffic in Phoenix.
Phoenix's traffic is
it's horrible.
Crazy.
It's a combination of typically how it ends up working. There's a long game in Mesa. Then, riding solo, you can't get into the HOV lane, so you gotta
just
sledge it up.
Yeah, Mesa's like another county over from Phoenix. Like
the good thing about
bring the Cubs back to Ho Cam Stadium, which was kind of a fun thing.
The good part about it is we haven't hit the hour change where we're on the same time frame, so we're working.
Then you get more work traffic,
right? We no. I just have a better shot at getting back to have more than just 5 minutes of the show.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow we'll have to see how it all turns out.
We'll play it by ear.
Yes, and we're going to be going 3 states tomorrow.
I know. I'm going to be the only one in the studio tomorrow.
Tony, Arizona, Skraby, California, Chris, Idaho tomorrow. So we'll make it work. But the rest of the day we're here and we have traffic. Or is that still
it looks like
issue?
Something new came through, so let's try it.
Let's try it, because after that, Big 5.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center. Injured? Demand justice. Demand Jurowitz. 855GetRoss.com. Here's Sue Allard.
Watch out, you got a crash on the 15. It's southbound right at 9th Avenue. It's off on the shoulder, but it is really causing a slowdown and delay. Then the northbound side slows down at Bernardo Drive with another collision also in the center divider. And the 52 eastbound at Santo Road, you have another wreck. Delays go all the way back to Convo Street. I'm Sue Allard with Gwen and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big 5 starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
Sue Allard is filling in for Kelly Danick. She's from New York City, so she.
Yes, but we need to help her in one regard.
Pronunciations?
It is Gwynn.
Oh, what did she say this time?
Gwynn. Like
is that a New Yorker way? Because
I don't know. I feel like I'm working with some young lady named Gwen on the show.
I've actually talked to her. She's very nice. She was very apologetic about it, but maybe if it goes forward, I'll send her another email. But Brandon put on the chat, the funny thing is I was listening to an Arizona station one day on Alexa and actually got Kelly Danick traffic report for Phoenix.
Sure.
Wonder if she just does all out-of-state traffic.
Kelly
everywhere.
will do it whatever you ask her.
Yes. Yes, that is tough to know traffic in different cities you aren't in. Anyway, let's get to The Big Five. We are broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios. We know how.
Number 5.
And the Seattle Seahawks, unconventional yet successful 2-point conversion against the Rams in a Week 16 victory, wound up being one of the most consequential plays of the 2025 season. Tony knows where we're going with this. And sources tell CBS Sports the Rams are planning to propose rule changes that would effectively make the play an unsuccessful 2-point try. They plan to make at least one rule change this offseason, and there may be a second proposal aimed at certain details around that play. Teams always submit rules. By the way, tush push is not going to be voted on this year at all. So the tush push is out of the danger zone.
Yeah.
While the language remains unclear, one source with knowledge of the proposal said the Rams' goal is to, quote, fix what went wrong in a few places. So, Chris, you're up first. If you're going to fix this rule, or if you're going to make a rule, what is said rule on this play? We've talked about this play many times, so I don't need to.
Right. But we should just remind people that they tried to throw a screen pass to the outside. The ball was tipped and just fell in, basically incomplete. But because it was ruled a backwards pass,
yep,
they called it, quote, a fumble.
Yep.
And then
after the play was over.
Right, way after the play was over, Zach Charbonnet picked up the ball, handed it to the referee, and they said 2-point conversion because he was in the end zone.
Yeah.
He didn't even know he was recovering the ball. He just thought he was giving it to the ref. This is going to add some confusion, but I think it's fair to say now if you throw, well, you can't do this because if you throw a pass overhand out to the wide receiver and they throw it, that's a legal, good razzle-dazzle play. So what are they going to change the rule to? What's the rule?
I think, well, Tony goes first.
Okay.
I have a suspicion of what the rule is, but Tony, go ahead.
They shouldn't do anything. I wouldn't let them change nothing.
Yeah,
this is
thank
ridiculous.
you. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it still has to be voted on.
He threw a backwards pass. It got deflected forward. It's not, the pass still went backwards.
I think, okay, here's the rule change I think they're going to make. They're not
going to make a rule change. They're not going to make any rule change. I guarantee.
The last time they did this, because of the pass interference call on the Rams, or on the Saints that sent the Rams to the Super Bowl, they messed everything up.
Here's the rule change. Once you move on from the play and you're lining up for a kickoff, you cannot challenge a play that is clearly in the past. That's what I think the rule change is, because that's how it all went down. They challenged the play was challenged. And it was like 100 seconds from when they made the decision that it wasn't good to when they ended up reviewing it. So they're going to say there has to be a time limit for the review.
No. There just happened to not be another play. Because if there's another play, we're not talking about this. It was held up for a reason. It couldn't just be by chance that 100 seconds went by and they did nothing.
Well, they're in TV commercial. They're lining up for the kickoff.
So guess what? Then it's all good. Then that just happened to be the perfect time for all that stuff to happen, for them to double check and whatever they needed to do. I think you changed nothing. I think this is sour grapes, Rams. Sorry.
A lot of these rules are born out of sour grapes.
That's another thing. It shouldn't be coming from the Rams. Let somebody else who wasn't a part of the play propose this.
The Rams went to the Super
Bowl
on a missed call on the
did, like a terribly missed call.
So the Rams should shut up forevermore, basically.
Those are good points. Those are very good points. But
my last point is one that nobody ever agrees with, but we just don't have to have every call be 1,000% perfect every time. It's okay.
I don't
deal with it.
I still think you guys would have a problem if they did something where they call the guy safe, and then the Padres went out in the field, and then before they started the inning, they're like, "Hold on, we're going to go back and we're going to look at this play."
That's life. It got my man for the Detroit Tigers had a perfect game. Called on something that was not even close to being what it was.
He said it was okay.
And he moved on.
He's a much better human than I am.
He himself said he could live with it. But we can't live with any missed calls anymore.
All right. The Indianapolis Colts have had discussions about a multi-year extension for quarterback Daniel Jones, according to the NFL Network's Tom Pelissero. He signed a one-year, $14 million deal with Indy last season, and he's set to hit free agency unless the team can get a deal done or tag him. The deadline to tag someone is March 3rd. The franchise tag or the transition tag is a one-year guaranteed tender that prevents them from hitting free agency. And for quarterbacks, this year is the franchise tag is set at $47.3 million, and the transition tag is $40.8 million. So, Tony, what do you do with Daniel Jones if you are the Colts?
I'm sorry, Daniel. I'm going to need to see it again, brother. So I'm going to hit you with this transitional. You can get that $40 million for the year.
Okay.
Right?
And if you're going to complain about that, we don't want to hear it, because $40 million is a lot of money.
$40 million.
God.
Now, this is all under the premise that I can afford to bring in the 40 and still,
and still
do
feel
what we
the
have to
team
do.
and all that.
But I'm gonna get. I want to believe that you are the guy, but I know the last time you did this, you got paid, and then you disappeared on me. So I want to see it one more time.
I think it's so fair, Tony.
He's also coming off of major Achilles injury, right?
Yeah, that part too. Totally forgot about that. Yeah, and I want to see that you're healthy, young man.
You're so fair and you're so right, but it never works that way. Like, the player always just finds a way to get paid more anyway. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. The Colts should be able to dictate a little of this. Number one. Number two,
put that tag on him. Yeah.
When is the next collective bargaining agreement in football?
End of the decade or something.
Because maybe it's just time to get rid of the the franchise tag, because everybody hates it.
The owners don't hate it.
Yeah, the owners don't.
Well, but when they first did it, they did it because the players were going to love it.
Yeah.
But it's become the other way where the players hate it.
That's what they sold it to them as. Right. The players are going to love it, only to find out that it doesn't really work out that great.
Yeah, you only get 1 year security. Good amount of money, but only 1 year of a job. So I think that's what.
Not in the sport of football.
All right.
Number 3.
The Lakers unveiled a statue outside Crypto.com arena for their first ever coach honored with a statue, and that would be Pat Riley. You guys see the statue?
He looks so good.
It actually looks like a statue that actually looks like the person.
Is it
finally.
a whole? I thought it was just a miniature trophy they gave him.
It looks like that, but he was standing in front of it, and it's bigger than him. But it does look like a miniature.
I got confused.
Very strange. But here, I went and looked at how many statues they have at Crypto.com Arena, and they have 14. You got Pat Riley, Jerry West, Kobe and Gianna Bryant, Chick Hearn, Magic Johnson, Wayne Gretzky, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Luke Robitaille.
Robitaille.
Great
hockey player. Robitaille. Nice.
Yes, it wasn't me.
It wasn't you.
It was you.
Can you guys both, mostly Skraby, because Tony, I give him a pass. Figure hockey out, will you? It's like the biggest thing in America right now after yesterday. Come on.
I'm sorry I didn't know Robitaille.
Robitaille. Get it right.
You have Shaq. You have Dustin Brown. I've never heard of that guy before.
Good
Elgin
king.
Baylor. And then for some reason you have Oscar De La Hoya, who has a statue outside Crypto.com Arena. Okay. So, Tony, 14 statues. It's a lot. They're running out of space. Is the Crypto.com Arena too statue happy?
No, I mean, there's just greatness, and especially that's mostly Lakers that you named. I mean, there was a few
Two
Kings
got in there. I don't.
Yeah,
Dustin
Three
Brown
Kings.
seems. Oh, 3? Who?
Wayne Gretzky.
Oh yeah. Well.
Oh yeah.
That goes without saying.
The great one.
Yeah, his name is the great one.
But I mean, listen, that's kind of what the Lakers are. They had some of the best to ever do it, and so because of that, you gotta get statues. It's just how it goes.
I gotta say, man, Kareem's looking pretty good, man. For as old as he is now.
I said the same thing.
Magic, I know, looks good. Is that Dwayne Wade? Yes. What is he doing there? Did he play for the Lakers at the end? Did I miss that?
And the Heat.
Okay, fair. Okay, got you.
All right. Well,
it's a really good statue because that's a Riley image right there.
It is
for sure.
Riley was. I don't know if you heard Pat, but he fined all of those guys there except for James Worthy. James Worthy was the only one who had a tie on.
He fined the rest of them.
He fined the rest of them $2,000. He said
that away, Pat. My only other image of Pat Riley besides the arm up calling a play like that is knocking a dart down after the game as I tried to interview him.
That's a flex right there.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, I know smoking is terrible for you. No one should ever do it, but I love the look.
You love the image of Riley sitting in
vintage.
there?
Yeah,
a little vintage
I
move.
do like
And he had
Len
the slick back gel joint.
Yeah, that is true too. He had a look. He was a movie character
For sure. He was a character for sure.
Number 2.
The ESPN of Canada, TSN, rankled some people with a tweet after the Canadian hockey team lost to Team USA in the gold medal game. They posted a quote from Team Canada's Nathan McKinnon post-game, and it read, quote, "You be the judge of who the better team was tonight," end quote.
Salty.
Yeah, Tony. I thought that was a strange, salty quote.
So wait.
What?
They're mad at Nathan McKinnon, or they're mad at the people for releasing the quote?
They're mad at the people for not. They clipped the quote. So I thought that quote was strange, and I immediately was like, "This is a sore loser. Who would ever say this after losing the gold medal game?"
Right.
Well, TSN did him dirty because the full quote is this.
Okay.
Go.
It's been close for a while, you know. They're an amazing, skilled group of players. I just felt like it wasn't going to be. You guys can be the judge of who the better team was tonight, but they won, we lost. Changes the entire quote. Entire quote.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I honestly, seriously, I really hate that because I had been believing up until you read that quote because I saw that earlier today.
You're like, what's up with Nathan
what
McKinnon?
a salty ass player is what I was thinking. And come to find out, that's not exactly what he said. It's not even close to what he said.
No, what they left out changes everything about that statement.
I can't stand this.
Yeah,
I really can't.
So, Chris, I guess I was going to ask a question about rules and stuff, but you can't put rules on social media. I don't even know the question. Well, how can we get around this? How can we educate ourselves better? Are we going to have to do our own research?
I don't know what you can do if they're going to print that out that way. There's nobody who's going to know that he said more.
That's so
the people that check,
wild.
I guess.
But who checks? You don't check. You see the quote.
Well, there was a guy on Twitter that goes, "Nice try, TSN," and they put up the full quote.
Well, thank you to that
crazy.
guy.
That is crazy.
I got to say, that's really a cheap shot at a class guy in McKinnon, number one, who is the best player in the league right now. He and McDavid, and he and McDavid were on the ice during that goal. Like, Canada could not have had three better players. They had the three best players in the entire planet. Those two guys, and the defenseman was Cole Makar, who's an Avalanche defenseman. And you know what? The U.S. beat him with that matchup. So, no complaints, and it doesn't sound like Nathan McKinnon was complaining.
Nah.
But
I'm sorry, Nathan.
No, he wasn't complaining. But he also
no, he wasn't, but I had accused him based off of that quote, and I should know better.
Yeah,
I just thought I could trust an actual
you would think
publication.
Yeah, like a legit news source, like the ESPN of Canada.
Yeah, maybe my fault.
And they did it to their own guy. I can imagine, like if they did that to an American player or something and misquote him, fine. But you did it to your own guy. That is messed up.
Cold-blooded.
I think Nathan McKinnon needs to honestly and personally ask for a retraction on that. That is one way to at least get a little attention to it so that everybody finds
retraction on the tweet.
Yes. Finds out that what he said was not that. So, because he should clear his name on this.
I mean, he should.
He should, yeah.
They also should let them get off the ice while the other team is getting their gold medal.
Those poor guys. Did you see him yesterday, Tony?
No.
Oh, you didn't watch the game.
So
the U.S. was on
angry.
the ice celebrating for an hour and a half, and the poor Canadians had to wait for their silver medal. They're just standing there. It was uncomfortable.
All right.
You know what else is terrible?
What?
The coach of the U.S. doesn't get a gold medal.
What?
No gold medal.
I guess
only
he's not
the
an athlete.
players.
I guess no coaches get gold medals.
I know, but it seems in a hockey situation, the guy should get a medal.
Interesting.
Number 1.
Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao are going to meet again in the professional boxing rematch September 19th at the Sphere in Las Vegas. The Sphere. The announcement, it's going to be on Netflix. The announcement comes just days after Mayweather announces intentions to come out of retirement, blah, 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 blah. Tony, you're up, or Chris, you're up first here. I'm sorry. Are you interested in watching this fight?
Who is it again?
Mayweather Pacquiao.
I hate to say that if I'm going to watch boxing, I'm going to at least watch two guys I've heard of.
Okay.
But I also will say that I think it's kind of sad that I have to go back to 25 years in their prime to find guys I've heard of. So,
Tony, you're the resident boxing guy on our show.
guy.
Are you interested to watch this fight?
I want to be. I'm not sure if it's going to be what I think it's going to, but I would like it to be.
Okay.
I am a little interested to see if Floyd can look anything like he looked when he retired.
Yeah. I mean, he's 49 years old.
I mean, you already fooled me once by making me buy Tyson versus Jake LaMotta.
You don't know Jake LaMotta.
Jake LaMotta.
I know it wasn't
And
him.
you
but
didn't have to buy it. It was on Netflix.
No, I know, but you pay
He
for
said
Netflix.
Jake LaMotta.
Isn't that the Hurricane?
I don't know, but I'm not giving Jake Paul the satisfaction
Jake
of his
LaMotta.
real name.
That's really funny. All right. I mean, we finished the Big Five. Good job, guys. That's good stuff.
I'm sorry, my internet connection is whack right now.
At least you're on the air. That's all we care about.
I've been there before.
Raging Bull, not the Hurricane.
Yeah, no, he was Ruben Carter was the Hurricane. Jake LaMotta, Raging Bull.
Why is everybody thinking that me saying Robitaille is like a horrible thing?
It was a big mistake for
it was.
Luke
Robitaille
Robitaille
again.
way up
Again.
there in the hockey ranks. Way up there, like 600 goals up there.
I don't care.
Should have known. Should have known his name.
You should know. You're supposed to be a sports guy.
I mean, he is a statue. He has a statue, so he's pretty
Yeah,
good.
we know. We discussed it.
You know what you just aired there, Tony? You just called him a sports guy. That's the
I
problem.
said he's supposed to be a sports
yeah,
guy.
you're supposed to be. Well, you're
I'm
not.
a sports lover.
You're not.
I
just
love.
are.
You're not Luke Robitaille.
I mean, Ed McKee said she gasped. Like, it's not that big of a name.
No, it's kind of a big deal, buddy.
Kind
Sorry.
of a big name.
All right, it'd be like me calling Mario Lemax.
We got more Chris and Skraby and our girlfriend Gwynn when we come back. All-time jerk back in Parker yesterday. Kicks off the 5 o'clock hour. Gwynn and Chris. Crisello, Tony Gwynn Jr. in Peoria. Skraby alongside. All-time jerk back in Parker yesterday.
I got a jerk thing after your parking thing.
I'm going into a big shopping mall, like a Costco one, okay? So it's huge.
Oh, and it's busy.
And it's busy, and it's this, and it's that, and you got one lane in and one lane out, and the lane curves to the right. And there's 6 cars behind me that want to get in. Not just me, but they're all behind me. And just as you turn into the lot, first spot, there's a guy doing the old 3-point, 8-point, 12-point, trying to back into the parking spot. He is holding up traffic like in all of Mission Valley, let alone making me wait. And that just, one of the things we got to deal with these back in Parker, Skrabe.
I'm with you.
Come on.
I still have yet to
Sounds
be
like
chased
an
by a serial
amateur.
killer.
Oh, he was
Sounds
an
like
amateur. Tony, you're right. If you can get in there in one shot, then do it. But if you can't, get out of the way.
Especially at a Costco. And why are you backing in? You need to put all your stuff in the back of your car anyway.
That's probably the biggest thing. Is like, this is a situation where you're loading up your trunk.
It's like a Tesla. It's a frunk.
You want to get to it easy.
As soon as you back in, you're right. You take away the ability to even get to your trunk.
Unless you're driving a Tesla and you have the frunk.
He wasn't driving a Tesla. What he was driving was a demolition derby car because I was about to smash it.
With your car?
No, it was because of my car. I did it. But this guy was bad news, man.
Here's my jerk moment.
What'd you have?
When I walked into the bathroom during the break, I go to the urinal. We're in a professional organization, and there's someone who put their gum in the urinal. Just spit out their gum in the urinal.
Yeah, come on.
What are we doing?
That thing.
We're not in a bar.
Ridiculous.
We're not in a stadium.
Why don't you just reach in there and take it out?
Oh, you just almost made me throw up.
By the way, at least I know for a fact it wasn't me. I don't chew gum, but that is kind of a weak move.
What are you doing? You're just sitting there going to the bathroom. You're like, bleh. The urinal? Like what?
Skraby, the cleanest man on earth, Matt Skraby over here.
I mean, I just and there's like always paper towels on the floor. I don't understand it. We do not live in a frat house. We work.
No, I agree with that, Skraby.
In a business.
I'm with you on that.
I lived in a frat house and rather enjoyed it. So you got to put up with a couple
I was never going to be able to make it through the frat house mess.
You know how neat I am.
Me neither.
Skrabe, you know how neat I am in general, but I just made a deal with it.
This surprises me about Tony, though.
Oh, Tony says he wouldn't want to be in a frat house?
mean, listen, I listen, by the time I got pro ball, I had to like learn some things. You know what I'm saying? Like I was used to being able to kind of control my environment in terms of like hygiene. Once you get into a locker room, it's all bets is off, and so you gotta, you know what I'm saying. So
baseball players are gross. Just ask Greg Maddux and company the stuff they do.
I had to get outside my box, man, like that I was used to. It was you get used to it.
I did too when I went and lived in a dorm for the first time. But I had a friend who had such a disgusting place. I refused to use his bathroom. I
I'm trying to prepare my children for that. They're about to be at the age where they're gonna eventually start having roommates. Yeah. And I was like, don't be the dirty.
Don't be that
roommate.
one.
Yeah.
Don't be the dirty roommate.
Yeah, but
I'd much rather you be the roommate that is like constantly like cleaning up stuff so that the place doesn't look, than to be the one that is causing.
I know, but the person constantly cleaning up resents the other people. I can tell you, as that person, I can resent with the best of them.
Yeah, I was that person too.
Yeah,
I created an experiment.
I honestly felt like people left their dishes in the sink or in the counter
because they knew you were going to do it.
Because they knew I would do it, and then I'd walk in there like 3-4 times, and I went, nope, I'm going to wait till they do it. And then by about the 8th time I walked in, I'm like, forget it, and I would clean it up.
You can't take it after a while.
I couldn't take it after a while.
It's like much like Tony and the baseball team's test in the chili in San Francisco when they put golf balls in there. I left dirty dishes in the sink for like a month because my roommate would not do it. She would not do her dishes, so I left them there for a full month.
Oh, I couldn't.
And she goes, "Oh, did you notice that there's a lot of dishes in the sink?" And I was like, "Yeah, they're yours."
Now, we've all had roommate stories for sure.
Nate says, "Tell me what you do like, Skraby. It might be faster."
Yeah, it won't take long, Nate. You're right. List of things Skraby like. We could do that as a countdown one day. Top 5 things Skraby likes. You go.
We can all have a 5 for each of us.
Number 3, Skraby be like, "Yeah, I'm out of them."
Lucky,
yeah,
golf,
Lucky's about it, and the 49ers.
Video games, 49ers.
It's about it.
And then Lucky again.
The opposite is true if we wanted to play the other way. All 3 of us could participate and just use Skraby's dislikes.
Maybe we should do this one of these days.
Friday's coming up. The WNBA, basically, if you're wondering how the collective bargaining agreement negotiations are going, answer, they're not going anywhere. And the WNBA told the Players Association today that if a new collective bargaining agreement is not agreed on by March 10th, so they got 16 days the way I count it, that the 2026 schedule is going to be impacted, and soon after that, the season. So,
do they
see where
still
they go
have
with the WNBA?
Kathy Engelbert as the commissioner? I thought she was on her way out.
No, she's still in there.
I don't know. The only quote in this story is Adam Silver for some reason, and he says it's getting close to the 11th hour, and I'm like, thank you, Adam. Anybody could have said that. It's not looking good for the WNBA. I want these players to get as much money as they deserve. They can't ask for what they're asking, I don't think. I just don't think there's enough to pay them what they want. I want them to have it, but until there's more interest.
I wonder if Trinity Rodman's making more money than any of the WNBA players.
I don't know. But I don't know about that. But
yes.
The answer is yes?
Yes, she is. She's the highest paid female athlete in the country at $2 million.
That's crazy, because then you have to look at
this
Shohei and Juan Soto.
This is the most unfair thing I can possibly say, and I totally love the rank and file I'm trying to look out for. But beyond Caitlin Clark and who? The people tune in to watch WNBA games. I'm not knocking them. It's just the facts are the facts.
Sounds like you're knocking them.
I know it does. But
I don't know that your facts are accurate.
You don't think?
I think you're somewhat guessing at kind of what they're asking for, because none of us. I mean, do you really know what?
You mean? Well, okay. Yeah, no, but I'm sure they're asking.
There you go. I'm sure. No, you're not.
In 2025, the entire league, their total money spent on roster, $19.7 million out of all the teams in 2025. That's crazy. That's a
listen. I
mediocre pitcher in one year in free agency.
I think ultimately this is how negotiations go, and that it's going to come down to the 11th hour. It's always going to come down to the 11th hour, because their union is going to try to get as much as they possibly can. And I think they have moved the ball down the road. It's just a matter of time before, they either get squeeze a little bit more out of this orange they have, or they're going to take eventually what's the final offer. I think something along the lines of WNBA would continue to pay for housing but it would be phased out. Salaries would have gone up. They're just trying to get a little bit more revenue, and I don't know if they're going to get it or not. It doesn't sound like the WNBA is going to move. We'll see.
The problem is, sorry, Script.
No, it's my
fault. What I was going to say, the problem is the teams are all owned by NBA teams. You're right. All the WNBA teams are run by NBA teams. Okay, the way I read it, the WNBA Players Association wants a percentage of the money based on how much these NBA owners have. The NBA owners want to pay them based on how much the actual WNBA nets them.
Yeah, I don't think that's accurate. I don't think that's what the ask is in terms of the WNBA players and I don't think they're asking for what the NBA has as a total. I don't think that's accurate.
I don't think that's think that would be a good move on their part because that's a non-starter to get NBA type numbers. Like Paige Becker's #1 overall pick last year. She signed a 3-year, $247,000 contract. Like she's making $78,000, which is a lot of money and money that I would definitely want. But she's playing professional basketball and making $78,000. They got to figure out some way to give these people some more money.
I think they'll get there. I don't think it's going to be with the players all of what they want, but like I said, they've moved the ball up the field a little bit on this.
They did, and Trinity Rodman helps as well by making a ton of money.
As my friend,
you don't think so?
How would that help?
Just because different women in different sports are getting more money, which means that women's sports is growing, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, no, I mean, from that standpoint, but I mean, the NWSL is a completely different model than what the,
True.
They don't have.
The WNBA wouldn't you think the WNBA has deeper pockets than the NWSL?
I would think so, but remember that the sponsors are also involved in Trinity. It's not like solely the whole salary is coming from that specific team. It's also sponsors and all of that kind of equates to the $2 million she's getting. But I don't think the teams are necessarily forking over the $2 million themselves. You know what I'm saying? So it's just I think it's just a different model, which is why I don't know that it would help the WNBA at all.
Let me see. Who do you guys think is the highest paid player in the WNBA?
I have no idea. Brianna Stewart.
I'm just using the value of the contract.
Brianna Stewart.
No. It looks like Arike Ogunbowale.
Oh, okay. Yeah. She's ironically, I believe, the head of the
That's
union.
Unbelievable. You don't know how to pronounce Robitaille and you don't know how to pronounce Ogunbowale.
I've seen
these are crucial athletes you need to know.
See, I've seen the name Ogunbowale before.
You need to know this stuff.
I've never seen Robespierre. What is it?
You hit that like too good.
Ogunbowale. I mean, there's a football player named Ogunbowale.
That was pretty good. All right. Good luck to the WNBA because we need that league.
See, here it is right here. I just want to read you this little. It says earlier Monday, the union told ESPN Katie Barnes that WNBA generated enough revenue in 2025 to trigger revenue sharing with its players, and that $9.25 million from licensing revenue will also be divvied out to the players. The WNBA player body authorized. Okay, but my point was that they are going after what the WNBA
they're going after
made.
what they feel their money that they're bringing in. Well, then absolutely they should have a ton of that.
Yeah.
I just thought that they were trying to get some of the NBA money, and that's what the owners were balking at. So anyway, good luck to them.
I think initially they were asking for the same split percentage that NBA players were getting.
So, yeah.
But I think they've kind of backed off of that. But anyway, nonetheless.
Speaking of people who make millions and millions of dollars, Ben and Woods are at spring training this week, and they visited with Ruben Niebla. We'll find out some of the things that the old pitching coach had to say when Gwynn and Chris continues. Traffic is kind of a coin flip right here.
It's ready.
Okay.
From the
Tony, you care to
Tony, I don't know where Tony went.
Because Tony,
I see the corner of his room.
Oh, well, hopefully he'll be back shortly. Harbaugh.
I'm not sure where he went. I might text him to see if he's okay here in a second.
Hope he didn't. Yeah.
Did you think he fell in the shower or
I hope he didn't meet with foul play.
You think he met with foul play in our commercial break?
I don't know.
I mean, he is in New York City. So.
He's in New York City. It could be, you never know.
All right, we'll just go forward.
We're just going to go forward without Tony. I'm sure he'll rejoin us when he gets a moment.
Everybody stare at that box in the top right corner because it's just the corner of his room.
I'm going to look now. I'm kind of intrigued.
Oh, someone says maybe he's in the bathroom. I don't know.
He's been known to go there, as have all of us, frankly, but him more than most.
Over, under, Tony just forgot that he was doing the show.
That's not nice. Yeah, so maybe that's what they're thinking.
You know what just hit me, Chris?
No.
What if Tony went out to get like ice or something and he forgot his room key?
That is something
Very
that
well
he
possible.
is more than capable of doing.
Because he would never be gone this late, this long, with knowing that he was on the show.
No kidding, man. We took a commercial break like 5 minutes ago, and he has not returned.
I'm going to text him.
Like, ask him, are you out in the hall trying to get into your room right now?
Everything okay?
Oh, no. This
Question
is
mark.
Scaring me. No. Did you hear back from Tony yet?
No, I'm thinking
something.
I'm thinking he locked himself out. He doesn't have his phone because it's in the room, so he's down at the front desk or something. I
don't know. I'm sure there's a story in here somewhere.
There's
when we
definitely
get him
got to
back on
be
the
a
air.
story. Anyway. I was very concerned about Tony, and I took him off the screen because he's not back. I guarantee you he got locked out of his room.
I don't think you're wrong, because that makes sense. But how far away is the lobby? Of course, the New York hotel, it could be one of those ones where you got to wait a while to get up to the...
And he's just sitting lying. I don't know why I find this so funny, but it is.
Well, it's funny
to
if
me.
it's funny if he comes back with a funny story.
Yeah, like
it's
I locked
not
myself
funny.
out.
It's not funny if he fell and hit his head somewhere
Well,
and we don't know where he is.
Of course,
That's not funny.
Of course, that's not funny.
He's obviously not with his phone because he hasn't gotten back to us.
Has Tony locked himself out before? Not during the show, but I'm sure he has at one point in his life.
Of all people, Tony would certainly seem to be one who would do it.
Oh, August also says, Clinton said, got to use the key card for the elevator too. So maybe he's just stuck.
You can't even get down? No, you don't need the key card to go down.
Okay.
You only need those to go up. You should be able to get down to the lobby to say, hey, I locked myself out. In New York City. But if we do, can you go to the Padre Hotel and knock on Tony's door? We don't know where he is still.
No.
Still hasn't come back.
And I turned on
It's been 20 minutes now.
I know. Now I'm starting to get a little worried.
Yeah. Where'd he go?
What
happened?
I don't know. I would call the front desk of the hotel, but I have no idea where they're staying.
I don't know where they're staying either. And when you sent him a text and said, is everything all right? We have not heard back from him. He is still not back in his room.
I bet you he is standing in line in the lobby as we speak.
I'm trying to get his key back. Or
someone
key.
said text Jesse or Dave, and
it's really not a bad idea. Maybe at the next break, though.
Yes.
If we get to the next break, we got to text those guys so that they can go make sure he's okay. Because I don't know where he is. It's crazy.
Dave Marcus is probably the one to text.
We'll text Dave.
Because he's, Jesse could be doing anything, but Dave's always there ready to go.
You're trying to say Dave has a ho-hum life and he'd just be sitting around waiting for a text, whereas Jesse might be busy? Is that what you're...
Dave's been doing this job for like 30 years. I don't think the what is the word I'm looking for? Never mind.
All right. Well, there's certainly an explanation, but we don't have it yet.
Text Scan. I don't know Scan well enough to text him.
We're going to text Dave if this gets to the top of the hour, and we still don't have a Tony Gwynn Jr. sighting. All right, do we just go to traffic like it's normal behavior time? I mean, it just seems weird.
We got to move on with the show.
Show must go on?
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, we're going to do the good, the bad, and the really, really weird and ugly next here after traffic. All right, it's with less enthusiasm than usual that we embark on the good, the bad, and the ugly for week 2, Skrabe.
I'm going to try not to worry too much.
I'm going to try not to worry also. I'm not necessarily the worrying type.
I'm not either.
But, I'm intrigued now at this point. Like it's with this long pass to Devontae Smith.
He's back!
Helped put him there.
Hold on, he's back, everybody!
Stop everything.
I literally, we went to commercial break, I laid on the bed, and then I just fell asleep.
I never even considered it.
Tony, you care to...
Tony, I don't know where Tony went.
Because Tony...
I see the corner of his room.
Oh, well, hopefully he'll be back shortly. Harbaugh...
I'm not sure where he went. I might text him to see if he's okay here in a second.
Hope he didn't, yeah.
Did you think he fell in the shower or something?
I hope he didn't meet with foul play.
You think he met with foul play in our commercial break?
I don't know.
I mean, he is in New York City. So.
He's in New York City. It could be. You never know.
All right, we'll just go forward.
We're just going to go forward without Tony. I'm sure he'll rejoin us when he gets a moment.
Everybody stare at that box in the top right corner because it's just the corner of his room.
I'm going to look now. I'm kind of intrigued.
Oh, someone says maybe he's in the bathroom. I don't know.
He's been known to go there. As have all of us, frankly, but him more than most.
Over under, Tony just forgot that he was doing the show.
That's not nice. Yeah, so maybe that's what they're thinking.
You know what just hit me, Chris?
No.
What if Tony went out to get like ice or something and he forgot his room key?
That is something
Very
that
well
he
possible.
is more. Tony's in Peoria. Chris here. Skraby there. Chronicles?
Of course.
6 o'clock.
Oh, I got a whole breakdown on Randy Vasquez that everybody's going to
Pitched
love.
well the other day. Quick score, North Carolina 52, Louisville 40. 14 minutes left. The game is in North Carolina, which means they are now handing out gear to the Louisville assistant coaching staff so that if they get trampled after the game, they'll be much safer.
They're the higher ranked team, though,
Yes.
Chris.
Who?
North Carolina.
Yeah, but if they storm the court, I want to protect the Louisville coaches. I want to make sure that none of it get hit in the face.
You're never going to forget, huh?
Never going to forget. NFL Competition Committee discussing the possibility of authorizing replay officials to throw flags. So what are they going to just fire it out of the press box? What?
Like
What do you mean?
T-shirt gun or something?
Do we need more? Do we need more people with the ability to call penalties in the NFL?
I have been reading about this, and if they can either take away or assess a roughing the quarterback penalty, I would be perfectly fine with that because there are so many roughing the quarterback penalties.
So
that
take
change
away
games.
a penalty is okay, but they're also saying here they could throw penalties, which I just don't need more. And even Troy Vincent, former Dolphin, who's now a big VP, said you don't want to just expand Pandora's box. And I think what he means is you just let them throw a penalty and then you give everybody in on it. Like our team, you know what I mean? Teams can start challenging a holding call somewhere.
No,
it can get crazy to
I'm
me.
talking about like game-changing type of penalties. I'm not talking about pass interference, but hands to the head
or
something.
lack thereof of pass interference. We just talked about the Rams. That certainly should have been one they went back and looked at.
Yeah. Well, I know the idea is to get every call on every play perfect.
I don't need it.
It's not realistic, so stop trying. That's my thing.
Chris is really upset about this.
I just, play ball. Ruben Niebla playing ball. He's down in Peoria. Ben and Woods took a moment from counting their millions to interview Ruben Niebla this morning on the morning show. Thought we'd give you a little taste of that. Here is what Ruben Niebla said. He's got a lot of new guys he's working with, right? So here's what he had to say about that group.
When these challenges come up, it's fun. Yeah, it's fun because AJ does a really nice job getting us people that we know that we might be able to impact. So it becomes a little bit of a fun project for me to be able to figure out who these guys are and how can we make them better.
That's why he's good. That's the answer.
Yeah.
People think that he's got more knowledge than I don't think he probably doesn't.
Work.
He probably doesn't have more knowledge, Tony. He enjoys what he's doing and he listens. He wants to hear what does German Marquez have to say? How can I help this guy? In order to know how, I need to listen to him. Same with Bueller, because Bueller will have a whole different set of things that he, wants. To me, that's the secret sauce for Ruben.
That's what makes him so special is that he understands that he's not a cookie cutter, guy. And he, what else is brilliant about it? And this is why I say, baseball people should really try to learn some of this, the new, and be able to apply some of this new metrics that they are able to gather with some of the analytics, because when you are basically a dual threat right? You have the experience of playing, but you also have the knowledge of knowing, how a certain type of pitcher's arm his stuff works better with his arm slider. Those are things that you can measure now. And that's where I think Ruben is elite. Like he understands guys, he understands pitching, and he recognizes that everybody's going to be a little different. And he does. He really does listen to these guys, which gives them the best chance to help them become better, as he said.
Listening is an underrated attribute. None of us can say that we're as good as we need to be at it.
What?
For sure.
Exactly.
I'm a great listener. See, there's two parts of listening, Chris.
What?
There's one part of actually opening your ears and hearing it. The other part is actually listening to what the people tell you.
Grasping it.
Yeah, grasping it.
Ask my wife if she thinks I'm a good listener.
I have a feeling she's going to say
on a
no.
0 to 10 rating, I'd get a -1 in her rating system.
That's kind of funny.
She says it's selective listening. I only hear what I want to hear.
I can.
We've had this discussion before, though, Tony. And this morning again, she waited till I walked completely out of the room, down the hall, into the other room, and then then started yelling something to me. I'm like, you couldn't have told me when I was just a little closer?
Why is it so annoying when someone can't hear you and you have to repeat something like 3 times? It really infuriates me.
Especially when you waited for them to leave the room before you started yelling.
I was right there. You could have told me. By the time I get all the way down there, then she thought of it.
Huh?
It's a common occurrence in our house, and I think many others. We got one more time for Ruben.
We do.
All right, let's hear some of his other observations about spring on with Ben and Woods today.
Yeah, so all of those guys and every major leaguer has something of an outlier, right? Something that they do really well. That's everybody in Major League Baseball. They have something they do really well. So I'm looking at each one of them, and it's like, yes, I can see why they've had success in the big leagues. Marco Gonzalez command, Tristan McKenzie's fastball. Ability to spin the ball, Waldron, knuckleball, now more velo, off-season throwing program. We kind of tailored for that. We actually were searching for that. The Randy Vasquez is being able to how do we kind of nail some things last year biomechanically? How do we now program that into an off-season program with weightlifting and conditioning? And so, Sears, we did a very similar thing. So Sears pitches tonight. I am expecting a little bit more velo out of him. And so being able to do that, it's just, again, it becomes fun, but you got to unlock some things sometimes. And sometimes you hit it, sometimes you don't. But, as long as you have a systematic way of going about things, you're going to have more success.
Another thing about Ruben, sounds like one of us. To me, doesn't talk above us. Doesn't talk above us if he's, Mr. Smart Coach. Sounds like a guy could just be sitting down here at the, the lounge or, down at the snack place down there having a acai bowl
down
with.
At that snack
Stop
place
it, Skraby. You know what? Sometimes I do like it better when you don't listen.
I think that's why a lot of people, he doesn't just, he understands humans. You could just tell that he understands how to deal with people. And you guys have said it, we'll say it a million more times, but the great thing about him is that he listens to what the player tells him and then he helps them from there.
Seems like, works for him.
But he also acknowledges that they don't get it right all the time. Like they sometimes they don't hit on it. And so, I think that gives us all reasonable expectations, although it does seem like everybody he touches has blossomed.
They've all gotten better. All right,
did we see that velo from JP Sears today? I'm not sure that we saw it.
We saw it on the balls that were going out, not the ones coming in. He had a tough day today if you just tuned in, JP.
The question is, did we see the velo? Was he throwing harder than last year?
Yes.
That is the question.
Yes.
I'll let you know when we come back because I don't know right now.
Okay.
Also,
hey, it's Ben and Woods. We love San Diego, and this.
Now, Craig Stamon joins us here, Padres' new manager. And Craig, listen, I've had the opportunity to play for two managers that were in their first year, Don Mattingly and the late Ryan Sandberg in Philadelphia. Both of them had their struggles. Even though these are the best of the best type of players, they had their struggles. Where do you see yourself in terms of your staff and leaning on your staff to kind of be able to help you in those first year kind of struggles that many managers deal with at some
Yeah,
point?
you're right. I'm going to lean on my staff a lot. And I remember having, small conversations with Bob Melvin about some of this stuff. And he was talking about some of the things he wished he knew when he was a first-year manager. And this was way back when I wasn't even thinking about this. We were just kind of talking. And he's like, I wish that I wouldn't have tried to do everything myself. He said, I felt like I had to be involved in everything and I had to be a part of every decision. And he goes, it's just not the case. He goes, there's a few things that I do need to be in charge of and as the manager, but, I got good people around me. If I got good people around me, I just got to be able to trust them.
Right.
That'll be the hard part. But we're going to build that trust within the clubhouse, within the coaching staff. So I'm not doing it all myself. We're going to share responsibility. We're going to share the successes. I'll take the blame. And then we'll see where the dust settles. But I'll, obviously, hopefully gain a lot of experience where we get to the end of the season and we're in that playoff hunt.
Yeah.
That we're rolling and we're humming and we got a good process going.
Now, you mentioned, kind of building off what Mike has done here the last couple of years, adding to his legacy. You obviously have your own strengths, though. Where do you see your strengths being able to be applied to this ball club and how it may be of help?
Yeah, Mike had so much experience of organizing, how to be a great baseball team. He'd been mentored by many great managers, and he'd taken a lot from those guys. And I just listened to what he had to say about that stuff, and I saw how he did it, observing and listening to how he kind of went about his business. So a lot of the things that he did, I'm going to probably keep doing the same thing. What I think I can add is maybe just I'm a little younger. I got a little bit more energy.
Yeah.
I've got some relationships within the clubhouse that are maybe a little bit different. Does that give me the avenue to push them in a little bit different way or like sneak in there to get them to do a few things that they haven't been quite, open to in the past? Maybe I don't know. We'll find out. But, I'm going to treat them, with respect and hopefully get that respect back. And we're going to try to make this team as best they can be.
Craig Stamon joins us here, Padres' new manager. And Craig, you're clearly coming this with your eyes wide open with this situation. I heard you say partnering on multiple occasions up on the stand there. What does that look like for the fans who are listening and may not know what partnering looks like? What exactly is that?
Yeah, partnering, it's a give and a take. We have relationships with our families, our moms, our dads, our wives, our kids. It's not always my way or the highway.
Right.
There's got to be, even in this decision to become the manager, there was a lot of give and take with me and Audrey, deciding what was important to her and what we were going to miss by taking this, what was important to me, what I was going to miss in this, and then coming to a decision that works best for both of us. And I think those types of things can happen throughout the year with players, trying to get them on the field to do certain things in practice or in the game, but like partnering them in the way that's like, it's not just my decision.
Right.
We're in this together. We're accomplishing a goal together. It's not my, championship that we're going to win. It's our championship. It's the Padres championship. It's AJ's, it's John's, it's Eric's, it's Manny's, it's Toddy's.
Right.
It's all of ours together. It's Ruben's. We share that success together. I'll handle the blame, and then we'll do this together.
Last one, I'll let you get out of here. I know you got a busy day ahead of you. Mike Schilt did a terrific job of really shielding his players. He always was the man taking all the arrows coming at the ball club. But you also mentioned being able to push the guys. What does that look like? Because I think oftentimes fans hear, managers take the arrows and they're under the impression that there isn't any, pushing going on the backside of that. What does that look like sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, we got great players. So, like, the amount of pushing I need to do is limited.
Right.
But we can give them new ideas on how to navigate a season. And Mike was so good at, like, handling the players and taking the arrows, like you said, in the media and throughout the season and pumping those guys up and making them feel great. But there's ways that, like, maybe they haven't been exposed to, and that's what we're going to challenge our staff to do is come up with creative ways to keep Manny Machado, healthy for a full season. Xander Bogaerts healthy for a full season as they get a little older in age, and can we can we have guys peaking at the right time and stuff like that? Just like open to new ideas and creative ideas, and the players will be partnering with that with the coaching staff to create something that we think will.
By the way, something we didn't mention yet today, but I think we should throw it in here. Outfielder Tirso Ornelas cleared waivers, so he is still a part of the Padre organization. Heading to a AAA El Paso.
Told us what's going to happen.
Well, he did, but I'm just clearing it up for those might have been
confirmation.
Wondering. We got our biggest fan, and today's winner is Margaret Phelan of Oceanside. Margaret, give us a call. You have 10 minutes to hit us up at 833-288-0973. Margaret Phelan, Phelan, I believe. She will occupy or qualify if she calls for the grand prize. 20 tickets to go see a Padre game with her friends at the Odyssey Suite. We'll be there and catered by Spears Mediterranean Cuisine. The rest of you, get your registration in. Go to 973thefansd.com/biggest fan. Tony Gwynn Jr., I was been really fired up to ask you this, but I'm not giving you enough time to respond, unfortunately. We may have to pick it up, but because we got Ziegler on to talk about this stuff, but I don't know if you saw his article today either. So,
yeah, I saw it.
Okay. So your thoughts on the fact that this has kind of finally touched the San Diego State basketball program. It seemed like we were kind of always a little immune to this. You know, we were bigger than the sum of our parts. This year we're not. And, you know, it's pretty obvious with the way they're playing right now that there's something amiss anyway.
You know, my honest opinion on this, and I read Zeke's article before I came on. I think that it's very easy to point to something like this when they haven't played very well. I almost feel like it's the low-hanging fruit, right? Because that's kind of the era we're in. But the thing is, even the teams that are competing for national championships are still dealing with the same type of kids that have one leg in, one leg out. I think they just do a better job of compartmentalizing it while you're in the moment. But I as much as it would be easy to put it all on that, the fact of the matter is these guys have not played as well. And listen, maybe it's because the rotation is too big at 11. Maybe you know, there are a number of factors that it's hard to get into a rhythm when 11 guys are playing. I think Zig pointed it out when they were playing at their best. Rotation was down 2 guys. It was about 9.
Yeah,
you know, and so, you know, I think there's a number of factors. I'm not willing to just blame it on the fact that guys are one in, one out. Because listen, after the Aztecs went to a national championship, they turned around, they lost 2 or 3 guys from that team anyway. So I think that is an inevitable part of this all. And I think sometimes you're going to play well under those circumstances. Sometimes your team is not. Maybe it has to do with, you know, the pressures of wanting to think about going someplace else. Maybe it doesn't. But I just think it's very easy for us to blame it on that because we had such high expectations for this team. But, you know, but when we came into this season, we thought to ourselves, man, well, Bird just tried to, you know, test it out the draft waters. So he's going to come in motivated, looking to up his stock. The season hasn't gone maybe the way he's played well here as of late. You know, I don't think you can really include him in as but, you know, Guath hasn't played up to his level, you know, that we're used to seeing. Well, what's my man, our guard, the guy that went from SC?
Dixon?
Reese Dixon Waters. Yeah, he struggled.
He struggled as well. I mean, there's a lot going on, and I just don't know that we can attribute it all to guys being 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
Very good analysis, Tony. Let's check traffic, and then our visit with Mark Ziegler, kind of carrying this on and getting just a little different angle or two on it. And then I think you all can kind of make up your own mind. You'll certainly have the knowledge from all corners after this interview.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center. Injured? Demand justice. Demand Jurowitz. 855GetRoss.com. Here's Sue Aller.
This traffic report is brought to you by Frozen Ropes Baseball and Softball Training Facilities. Watch out. Somebody broke down on the 805 southbound at Murray Ridge Road. It takes out the left lane, and the 15 is jammed northbound at Bernardo Drive with a collision. You also have a stall on the 5 north right at Delmar Heights Road, and this one takes out the left lane. Register for Frozen Ropes Baseball Summer League with 8 games and 8 practices for ages 6 to 12 and receive $100 off your registration fee at SanDiegoFrozenRopes.com. That's SanDiegoFrozenRopes.com. I'm Sue Aller with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Your story today just caught me. I got to be honest with you, a little by surprise. I mean, I've been watching, you've been covering for 2 decades. This kind of stuff has never really come up around the Aztec basketball program. It seems like we've only had teams that were greater than the sum of their parts, but this year it's the opposite, it seems, Mark.
Yeah, it's just this whole new world of college basketball. And, we were talking with Stacey Terry today, and I asked her the same thing. And I said, what's going on right now in terms of your team and next year, and talking to players about coming back? Do you talk to them now? Do you wait? But if you wait, if you talk to them now, it's a distraction. If you wait till after the season, maybe it's too late and they've already decided to go elsewhere. And she said, basically, there's no playbook for this. I don't know. We're trying to figure it out as we go along. And San Diego State has never had this issue. A lot of fans of a lot of programs have been through this in New Mexico, big fan base. They went through it last year. I mean, entire new roster, entire new coaching staff. And that's just the reality of college sports. And again, San Diego State hasn't gone through it, but I think they're about to. We'll see. You never know until it's done. But I think you're going to see a lot of guys in the transfer portal, and then who knows where it goes from there.
Yeah, Mark Ziegler's with us. Aztecs, did not look good at all Saturday. It was really interesting because as I'm watching the game, I thought, this is really not defense that I'm used to seeing. And then you kind of went through the analytics in the article and said that was the worst defense they'd played in 8 years. And, because it was pretty obvious, man, guys were wide open, et cetera. But defense is more of a team thing, Mark. And it seemed like Reese Waters kind of touched on a little bit, just said at practice, we're just not getting it together right now.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I think people need to understand, it's not just San Diego State. It's easy because this is the team people follow. Yeah. Look, I was doing my top 25 ballot last night, and I'm looking through it, and I'm going, God, a lot of teams lost. 16 of the 25 lost, and a lot of them lost to unranked teams. And then you just look at, closer to home, the Mountain West. Well, first place, Utah State, they lost. Second place, San Diego State, lost. Fourth place, Grand Canyon, lost. All lost to teams that they had no business really losing to, that they beat early in the season,
right?
That maybe should have handled, and I think it's more of a national thing. And this is what happens at this time of year, because the season's ending, and there's 3 or 4 more regular season games, and then there's a conference tournament. Some teams will advance into the NCAA tournament. Some will have their seasons end, and players are starting to think about next year. And it's just really hard at this age, for this age group of players, to be able to process that. In European basketball, it's like this every year. You get a 1-year contract. You're playing Romania this year. You might be in Greece next year. You might be in Denmark the year after. You're used to it. You're a pro. You don't want to let it affect how you play. But these are 19, 20-year-old kids, never been through it. And I think it's affecting how they play.
Talking to Mark Ziegler of the San Diego Union Tribune here on 97.3 The Fan, and reading your 3 Things article, you talk about Magoon Gwath. And when he came back to the school, we all celebrated because it was amazing. We thought he was gone. It was a present under the tree. Can we boil his year down basically to injury, and that's why he's performed like he is? And do you think that he has done enough to get a better deal somewhere else in this country?
Well, to answer your second part of the question first, I think he will, because some of these schools have unlimited budgets. I mean, there's one coach, I'm not going to say which one, of a very highly ranked team right now, who when asked, "What's your budget?" said, "I don't have one." And
that's
school
great
like
to
that
hear,
can
isn't it?
offer him, yeah, a school like that can offer him $1 million and just take a flyer on him. And San Diego State, I don't know what they paid him. I'm assuming it's the high six figures. They can make that kind of offer and pay him, but if he doesn't pan out, then it hurts your team. And so I think that's where you'll end up seeing him in a situation where maybe they don't have to rely on him, and they can hope to get something out of him rather than need to get something out of him. And to answer the first part of your question, to me, the biggest thing that's been, I think, the most frustrating thing for him is, if you look at the 2 games we came back after a layoff, so after the big long layoff, the first game he played, he had 20 points, 3 of 3 from 3, 3 or 4 blocks, really good game. That was in the loss against Troy. And then every game after that, he would get more and more injured, more and more banged up, and just less and less effective. So then they shut him down for a month. He comes back, and he has 13 points in 14 minutes, 3 of 3 from 3, and 5 blocks. And what happens the next 2 games? He just goes downhill again because his body betrays him. And I think that's just super frustrating for everybody to see. And I don't know if there's any way out of that.
Yeah, when I watched that Nevada game, and you probably said the same and wrote the same, Mark, it's like, okay, we're back. Here we go. We're making our usual February push. But, man, that has not worked out. Mark Ziegler is with us, talking some Aztec hoops here. What are the kids, what would they do? What would you do, Mark, if you had a son in, college in this kind of situation? You want to be a great team guy, but they come to your son before the biggest game of the year and they say, "We need to use you as a decoy to win this game today." Well, you need to score 20 points so you can get, the best deal. I mean, this is such a conundrum for coaches and players and everybody.
And it works at all different levels. Yeah, you don't play well one game, you blame it on the coach, or you think about leaving, and that stuff's in your ear, in your head. And again, these aren't seasoned 28-year-old grizzled pros who can just put that out of their mind and deal with it later. It's going to seep in, and you're going to see lack of effort or just teams checking in and checking out. I mean, what I saw in these last 2 games, if we're going to generalize, is I just saw a team that wasn't fully focused and didn't put up a ton of resistance. And I don't think it's because they don't want to. I mean, these kids want to win, and they're locked into the program, and they're invested. But it's just, when you're distracted, it's hard. And I think that there's probably other parts to it as well. You're allowed to have some bad games. Everybody does. But I think this is part of it.
Talking to Mark Ziegler here, 97.3 The Fan. And the last part of your San Diego Union Tribune article, you were talking about USD. Steve Lavin was fired last week by USD, but you're saying that the athletic director has been thinking about this for a pretty long time, and that there's indications the program's finances could increase significantly. Is that kind of unfair to Steve Lavin to say, "Hey, we're going to fire you, but now we're going to put more money into the team"?
Well, maybe on a certain level, but I think they did give him some finances this year. They didn't leave him hanging out to dry. They gave him more NIL than they ever had, and I think they're going to go up a notch from that. So he had some resources to work with. The problem, and every team's going to face this, when you have to rebuild your roster every year and you've got guys basically on 1-year contracts, it's, can you put it together into one season? And some guys can, some guys can't. It didn't happen to Kansas State. We saw what happened to the coach there. It didn't happen to USD. Saw what happened to the coach there. But look what's happening in New Mexico. It worked out. Eric Olin could be in line for a power conference job at the end of the season, even after just 1 year at New Mexico. So that's just kind of the way it goes. But the thing about USD, I think it makes it a really attractive job, and I wrote a little bit about this, is I think if you're a basketball program right now, you almost don't want to be at a big public state institution, because those things they're so far in the red, not just San Diego State, but all of them. And
there's somebody to keep an eye on all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can go get open records, and the academic senate can look at budgets and say, wait a minute, we just cut our chemistry department. Why are we losing $25 million a year in athletics? And then you have football that you got to keep dumping money into. Whereas if you're at one of these WCC schools, And look at Santa Clara. Santa Clara's in line to get into the tournament this year. They have a G League pro on their team. Now, he didn't come for free. They have some financial resources, and they have a really good coach in Herb Sendek. You put those two things together, it doesn't matter all the other stuff. It doesn't matter if you have a practice facility, if you have a good fan base, if you have a big NCAA tournament history, you put guys in, history of putting guys in the NBA, which they actually have. So they have that going. But none of that stuff really matters if you have money. And so a school like USD can get good really fast. If you get a good coach and you throw $3 or $4 million, and I don't know if they'll be able to do that, but if they do, and they get a decent coach, and he restocks the roster, I mean, they're going to be good in a year overnight. And that's how college in the past, it would take 4, 5, 6 years to build the culture, get some young guys, build them up, and you don't have to do that anymore.
All right, Mark, I'm going to leave this last one here. It might be a little bit of a tough one, but I'm curious your thoughts. The whole Mick Cronin thing last week. Now, we went through it forever on this show. Was he right? Was he wrong? Is he, should he be easier on his kids? Are the kids too soft? Blah, 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 blah. But the one thing that I kept coming back to, and Tony and Skraby kept coming back to, is the players are now being paid by Mick Cronin, to perform, number one. Number two, if UCLA doesn't win, it's Mick Cronin's job too. Like, he's going to lose it if he's given, the resources and doesn't produce with it. So is his reaction a reaction to the way it is now, or is his reaction just kind of out of line, or both?
Well, the thing you have to understand about Mick Cronin is the absolute worst place for Mick Cronin in this entire world is in a news conference 10 minutes after he loses a game. That is a bad place for him to be. And this is not his first rodeo with questionable comments.
Yeah.
Controversial comments. I mean, I watch every single one of his press conferences because they post them on YouTube. I watch every single one after he loses. I usually don't watch him when he wins, but when he loses, I watch because I don't know what he's going to say, and nor does anybody else. And so you have to understand that's who Mick Cronin is. So you have to put a little bit of an asterisk next to it. But in terms of how he coaches his kids, look, they're getting paid very well. Donovan Dent's getting $3 million. If you're going to accept that $3 million and you know that he's your coach and you know how he coaches, that's on you. And if you don't want to be coached that way, then don't take the $3 million. I mean, these are professional athletes now.
Yeah.
And there has to be some accountability for the athletes as well. And this is one of the things that, all programs, San Diego State included, like, look, some guys are going to leave, and some of them are going to leave by their own volition, but some guys are going to leave because they realize they don't fit their system, they don't fit their coaching style, and they're going to push them out. So I think there's a little bit of that going on. I give him a little bit of a pass.
Give Mick a little pass, but it is coming off the heels of what happened to the Kansas State coach. It's coming on the heels of what we saw from the Texas women's coach and the Tennessee women's coach. I mean, coach is just coming out and basically saying their players are terrible. And I just had not seen that kind of stuff before, unless you give it a Bobby Knight crazy thing. But, this is now becoming almost commonplace. And I think the coaches are feeling some of the stress too.
Sure. And in the past, the guardrail was always, but they're college kids. I even find that, in writing stories in the past, would you really rip a kid if he was 1 of 13? Would you really point it out?
Yeah, right. He's a kid.
You kind of err on that. They're just college kids and, they're not getting paid. Well, they're getting paid now. And so now it's kind of like the thinking is, maybe we should call them out a little bit more. Fans are, because fans are paying. I mean, San Diego State, it's not like some big whale who's paying these salaries. It's fans who are paying it. And, the fans give them a little bit more right to rip on a player. And so it's not a very healthy system all regards. But this is a byproduct of it, 100%.
Yeah. No, it's not a healthy system, but it's not changing that we know of anytime soon. Mark, you're the man. So cool. I appreciate it. This was a good conversation. And we'll see you in a few days or somewhere down the road soon. Thanks.
All right, my pleasure. I'll talk to you guys.
Yep, Mark Ziegler right there, UT. Mark Ziegler giving us a lot to think about. Huh?
Too much to think about.
You think too much?
I mean, this is not the team that we're used to.
Yeah. Put more simply, yes, it hasn't been the kind of year. But as I said earlier, they beat Utah State tomorrow night. They'll be tied for first place somehow. Maybe they can still make something of this season It's been frustrating. For Tony, Skraby's got the Chronicles next.
Yes,
I'll be in Idaho tomorrow, but I will be here on time.
Randy Vasquez talk here in the
That's coming up on the Chronicles.
Yep.
All right. So tomorrow it's a show so big it'll be contained by 3 states.
That is crazy.
Don't miss it. Have a good night.